Welcome back, guys, to round 5 of the ASEAN Youth and Seniors Chess Championship. Let's not forget about the old guys also playing. So, let's go ahead and jump straight into the action. So, uh, in the previous round, it's not Chahaya, who won the game? I think Mariano managed to win that end game. We left it in a winning position for him, and he managed to convert. So, he has now been rewarded with a matchup against, I believe, another international master from Indonesia, Cahaya Satria Duta. So we have a very classic position. This is as classic as it gets. No, b5. Yep, this is the way. Yep, because now bishop c6 was threatened, and now a4. Yep, because I guess by castling, black is sort of suggesting that after c3 he's going to go for the marshal, and of course a4 is one of the most popular anti-marshal lines. So before he's played, and d3, this is still all theory. You can see white is still very well prepared. Black's just trying to recall some stuff, but obviously he knows this line as well. So one player who doesn't know these lines is me, so I will not talk too much about this, but we will probably get the openings guy here later, so I'm going to ask him about this line. But in the meantime, let's move on to the game of Aka, who's making a bit of a comeback after a surprise loss to his countryman yesterday. So that's as sharp as you can get. It's a Benoni. He's trying to go for the win. He's going for the g6 Benoni. Interesting. Free bishop g7. So yeah, I guess the principal move is to just grab the center with e4. Certainly it's a move I would play, and yeah, you just play bishop e2, castles, maybe h3 at some point. And yeah, just very normal play. I think this is probably how the game is going to go. I really don't see white not playing e4. I mean, why would you not play e4? That's the other question. So let's move on to the next game. We have Pakoyo, who's trying to make a bit of a comeback after a very disappointing, no doubt, loss in the previous round. So what's he going to make the comeback with? Is it going to be the Catalan? Yes, it is. Yesterday, if we remember, he beat... well, he didn't beat him with a Catalan, but he beat him with a g3 Slav. And actually, we have the same g3 Slav here, yeah? And he plays g3, allowing d takes c4. So, of course, there are many moves here. There's knight d2, there's queen c2, there's e3, even knight c3, just sacking that pawn. Many moves, but g3 is basically going to be a pawn sacrifice in many lines. But usually white's not too concerned about it, because at some point he will play something like a4 or even b3, and he'll basically accept that it's a gambit, but that he'll have a lot of pressure on the queen side and on the center. So this is what black is doing, because he plays a4. This is what white is doing. Plays a4, and now he plays b3. He's hitting these queen side pawns. Black takes on b3, and we simply take back with the queen. Okay, so we have a very standard position. b5 is hit, so black pushes the pawn, and a5. It's a useful move. You don't want black to play a5 and shore up this pawn, so a5 is logical, and black hits the center immediately with c5. And now white has started to think. Okay, so as I understand, this is still theory, but not a very recent kind of theory. Most of the games here, okay, the mixture of new and old, certainly, but I'm not sure. It's an interesting position. So white probably can play a move like bishop e3. That's the main move. Rook d1 also seems like a very logical idea. I don't know why this isn't more popular. I don't know, maybe something like bishop d5 might be concerning. Something like this. And of course the endgame will be very nice for black. But yeah, we don't really want to drop back and run into bishop e4 either. So maybe bishop d5 is a bit of an annoying threat. So bishop e3 is usually played, so there's actually a proper threat of taking on c5. So of course this doesn't quite work as well as I understand. Maybe it's okay also. Bishop c6, queen c2. I usually play knight bd7, takes on rook c8, with interesting play, most certainly. White will probably try to bring the knight to b3 and protect this pawn, but it's not so easy. Black's going to hit this pawn with all his might. So, yep, certainly some interesting play to be seen. Okay, let's move on. We have another battle of Vietnamese players, Din No Kiet and I will not attempt to pronounce his opponent's name. Yeah, for fear of saying something that I shouldn't say. But okay, I don't want also to offend the Vietnamese. Certainly, they are very nice people. Yeah, so I don't want to make any enemies. Certainly, by my lack of pronunciation skills, because that's definitely on me. So it's a very solid line, of course, the main line, dc to a6, queen takes c4. I mean, nowadays the main move is a4, but also bishop d7 is very, very solid now. Queen c4 and bishop c6. It's very solid. So people have been trying this line again, actually. Queen c2, bishop e7, bishop d2. This is a bit of an old line, and yes, black equalizes here. And in fact, the old way of playing this is you would play bishop e4, and after queen c1, you would just drop back. And then say to white, okay, how do you play for a win here? This was, I believe, Karpov's favorite line. And okay, there are others like, okay, bishop f4, you would play a move like bishop d6. And okay, there were ways to play. You could play rook d1, for instance. And okay, it's an interesting position. Not anything too special for either side. I think black eventually should be able to get a move like c5 in. This is the thing that white needs to avoid, but it's going to be hard for white to stop a move like c5. So usually black ends up equalizing. So okay, bishop e4 is played, and here black plays c6. So one other thing to mention is that black is playing for a win, obviously, because he's a higher rated player, and obviously he wants to win this game because he's a bit behind the leaders, so he's got to play catch up. It's not so fun to be playing catch up, but sometimes you can't really choose your ideal tournament situation, so it's something you have to deal with. Knight c3, the bishop drops back to g6, and now I guess, okay, knight h4. That's interesting. So I was gonna say, I guess it will be something like knight e5 at some point, but I guess black would just take it. He doesn't really care and put his knight on d5. This is still theory, by the way, but probably not anything special for white. There are a lot of games here, correspondence, master, grandmaster games here, but not anything that's very special for white. I mean, most games end in draws. So I plays knight h4. Okay, he's trying to. Yeah. Wait, this is a repetition. Is it? He's going to repeat this one. Yeah. Well, so much for black trying to play for a draw. I take that back. No, he's not trying to play for a draw at all. Yeah. So that's gonna be a draw. Probably two good friends, so they don't want to beat each other. Also, right before the rest day, I guess they just want to, just want to make a quick draw and nobody feels too bad. Otherwise, somebody will be sulking for the rest of the next day, and you don't really want to have your roommate doing that. Yeah, especially considering there's still like what, 5 more days of chess to be played. So, yep, sensible decision, I will say. Well, Cummin has gone for his favorite line. This is of course oh wait, Carvin's white. No, I mean Carvin plays this I think with black as well. But yeah, this game he is white. He's up against the Vietnamese who's a bit higher rated than him. And we'll see. He plays Queen c2, so he's not rushing with a move like e4. No, he's played quite safe. Plays Rook d1 and Bishop b2. He's playing very safe. He's just waiting for the right moment to break with e4, which he does. Knight takes e4 and c5. Okay. I honestly think black has no real problems because obviously he's got his pieces, in very good spots. He's got his bishop out after c5. But at the same time, I think, I always prefer white a little bit in these positions. It's always a little bit more comfortable. And certainly after the move like d takes c5, knight takes c5, and especially when you're playing someone who's a bit higher rated, I think this is what you're aiming for. Like a position that's slightly more comfortable, that you can play without too much risk. And this is what he's done, I think. He's played bishop f6. So basically he's going for a position like this. Knight takes c5, and I guess bishop c5, you play a move like bishop e4 to trade bishops and go for a position with knight versus bishop and these slightly exposed kingside pawns. Now, is this anything objectively? No, it's not. Of course it's not. But practically, I feel like I would take white in such a position because it's just easier to play. Like, I have a lot of ideas to double, for instance, on the d file, and I feel that my position is very safe. Like, I find it hard to think of how I can lose. Like, I can even just play g3, king g2, Maybe later on try to reroute my queen to the king side. That would be my ultimate goal. But in general, my position is very, very safe. And as people's pieces start getting traded off, I don't really mind my position actually. Yeah, I've got nice pawn structure, queen set majority. I like white actually. So I think all in all, very decent opening choice. And I think Carvin has recently been very good in his opening choices against high rated players. Against low rated players, I will reserve judgment. Okay, so let's move, with that in mind, let's move on. We like Carvin's position. And here we have another all Vietnamese matchup. Okay, we have this bishop b4 check line. And black plays a5. Okay, it's against me as well. So a3, bishop takes d2, and queen takes d2. It's the typical kind of position that you play for here. Knight c3. And okay, white has a lot of different ideas. You can take on e5 at some point, you play rook d1, wait, or you can just play b4 on the queen side. So black decides to force matters. He takes on d4 and plays knight c5, threatening to come into b3. And after rook a d1, he manages to secure this slight concession from white. Yeah, those are not exactly the prettiest, yeah. It can potentially be attacked in the future because white doesn't have a nice chain. But at the same time, white has space in the center, and I guess white will try to exploit this. So maybe something involving e4 would make sense. So maybe even immediate e4, although of course it's a little bit risky as this pawn will be, will be potentially attacked in the future. Although we can protect it with a move like rook e1, so I don't think it's too dangerous. And also black might have to watch out for ideas like e5. So e4 has been played. Actually, e5 might be a serious idea, so maybe black has to watch out for a little bit. Yeah. So maybe a move like queen e7 so that, now the queen is protecting the knight, which makes e5 a lot less appealing. Well, we can still go rook fe1 threatening e5. So, okay, I mean, it's an interesting position, quite playable for both sides. And, I feel like white has more space in the center and potential to break in the center. But if white's break doesn't succeed, then maybe these queenside weaknesses might come back to haunt him in the future. So, yeah, let's go on to the next game. Maybe we'll go on to another category. Maybe some of the older guys. Yeah, the oldies but goldies. And we have Filipino legend Angelo Yang against Tu Huang Tong. I don't actually know much about Grandmaster Tung, but maybe if there are any Vietnamese who want to join the stream, they can enlighten me about his exploits, because certainly he is a grandmaster, and certainly that means he probably has some interesting chess stories of how he became a GM. So if he wants to come in and enlighten us, that would be very nice. But we will see. We already have got Joey Antonio in the stream, so twice actually we got Joey Antonio in the stream. So we are hoping for another grandmasters to join us. So we'll see. Okay, so this is a weird opening. We'll go through it a little bit by bit. So far it starts normally, and then c3, which is kind of weird. Like normally of course, we always take the center in the Slav against the Slav, right? We take the center, and eventually it will lead to something where black plays something like, I mean, queen e8 is one main line, going for e5, and yeah, there is a lot of play here. For instance, like rook e1 is one idea. There's also like ideas with queen c2 or b3. And the idea is, of course, to try to play e4 in a lot of lines. So, for instance, rook e1 would meet e5 with, I believe, d takes e5 followed by e4. And this is a very standard position for this line. So, c3 in that sense is a little bit weird because it doesn't really control the center all that much. And his idea is a bit weird as well. He wants to play queen b3 to stop black from castling. So, I mean, obviously with the pawn on c4, black would just castle straight through. But now we've stopped it. But is it so dramatic? I'm thinking if black just plays e6. I mean, e6 is always a move that's okay for black to play in these, in these Dutch setups. And he can just castle and later on play king h8 and prepare e5 in any case. So I'm not sure whether this really makes any sense. Yeah, but it is maybe a line from the 70s. But if it was from the 70s, I think my dad would be 5 years old. So obviously I wouldn't know this line. Queen b3, knight c6, knight g5. I don't really buy this, honestly. Black gets d5, and now white takes f4. He's trying to close up the center, but he's losing a lot of time with this. And I think black has got a very nice position already. considering he played the Slav, he's got a very fighting game now, and I think certainly he'll try to play on. Speak of Grandmaster Joey Antonio, we have a 10 move draw by Joey. Uh, yeah, 10 move draw. There is nothing really to say at all. Except that Joey is a bit tired, so he wants to go back to his room and play on chess.com. So watch out and watch out for GM Joey1 on chess.com. That's his username. Absolute bullet legend. So I will be keeping out for his name later on during the stream. Okay, we have at least another fighting game between uh, two experienced players. Obviously, Leo Dede, he's been a very strong international master for a long time. His rating has dropped actually in the past 5 years or so. He's lost like I think more than 100 points in the last 5 years, but that is chess, yeah. I mean, many players, it's not even the old guys, even the young guys have been losing rating. Yeah, and I'm not sure about what he's done, yeah, taking on d4. I'm not sure about this. But maybe this is good, yeah. Maybe this is good. Knight e4, and he's forced white to take on a5. This is quite interesting. So, I mean, white can take on e4, but surely he will not do that because it's just horrible. So he will take on a5. At least he's got the two bishops and everything. And I'm thinking, what's the big deal? I kick your knight? Is this so nice for you, really? Like, what we're gonna do? You're gonna put your knight back. You can't put your knight back on d6 because this wins immediately. So what can you do? You got maybe. No, you're not coming to c3, are you? So maybe your idea is to play g5, which makes a lot of sense. But is this so good? As I take this guy, yeah. So you take this guy, I'll take this guy. This is really good. So maybe you have to take this guy on e4. Bishop takes e4 and g takes h4. But I'm not sure I believe this. I mean, firstly, I'm not even down material. I've got lovely structure, got easy play, nice center pawns, pass pawn, and you have some issues with development. Yeah? Because I could try to tie you down here later on to the queen side. So I don't really believe this for black. I don't really see the point of playing like this, honestly. I feel like normally the way they do it is they will keep the center tension a bit longer, no? So yeah, this feels a bit weird. Knight c6, yeah, e5, and yeah, I was thinking normally they play b6 here, right? They play rook e8, and then later on they'll see maybe they can play knight a5. Try to play on the queen side, some sort of quick pushing on the queen side. Obviously, white's plan in this case is to play f3 and try to get e4. And this will be a bit of a battle, yeah? So there are obviously games where white was very successful. One that springs to mind is obviously the famous Vodvinic Capablanca game, which is probably the second most famous game in history, yeah, behind the Morphy one, of course. But, okay, there are examples where black strategy succeeds as well. So, it's not all one-sided. Anyway, let's go on to the next game. This is Raetsky, a Russian grandmaster, against Ronnie Gunawan, the Indonesian legend. And we have a very typical Ronnie Gunawan opening. Slightly dubious, but with a lot of play. This is really Ronnie style. H3, D takes E4, and Knight F6. Knight takes F6, and black takes the bishop. Bishop C4. And I guess black will castle. I think this is kind of a normal position, yeah, castles, and white would probably shore up the center with c3 and then go rook e1, maybe try to develop later on a bishop f4, try to stop e5 breaks. And I think white's position is kind of comfortable because obviously it's like black will have some issues to solve, like how to develop this bishop, for instance. Yeah, but okay, I think it's not very much objectively, it's just a little bit more comfortable. Alright, let's move on to Jimmy Liu. What has happened here? No, this did not happen. It's a broadcast error. Yeah, because some people have got to fix the broadcast, guys. But, okay. No, I mean, we have all been struggling with our broadcasts, yeah? Broadcasting is not an easy thing. And especially when you're stuck with bad equipment like, Clono and ID chess, then there is only so much you can do, right? As they say, you can't polish a turd. So, Yeah, I mean, these people, especially Emran, who we saw earlier, they're doing their best, but when they're stuck with these software, there's only so much they can do. Okay, so we have this line with d4, knight, bishop d6, and knight f3. This is a bit of an older setup. Nowadays, people like to play their bishop to d3 in these lines, and they put their knight on e2, c3, and queen c2. It's the modern way to play this. But knight f3 is very traditional, and knight c6, a3. And I'm not sure about a3. I don't really see why you would play a3. Like, what was wrong with castles, and then later on you just play normally with like c3 and maybe whatever you want to do, rook e1, h3, bishop f, bishop somewhere. Yeah, a3, I'm not sure. I don't really get this. Yeah, I don't really get this actually. And then she plays c3 anyway, so I don't understand combining a3 with c3. It feels weird. But okay, bishop h5 and queen b3. Okay, now black plays knight d5. Wait, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, the bishop was not defended, so obviously you can't take because of course not rook takes c2, but simply winning the queen. So white drops his bishop back. But I'm not sure about this. Yeah, okay, it's fair enough. I don't really see how else you're gonna deal with this. You could play queen c2, but then it would defeat the purpose, right? Like, he wants to have the chance to take this pawn. So bishop d1 is played, b6, and now white kicks this knight away. Which makes a lot of sense, of course. So where's the knight gonna go? So this seems to run into c5. So as far as I can see, this is just no good. Yeah, you have to play bishop e5 or something, but I don't believe this one. Maybe just knight takes e5. No, knight takes e5 wins a piece because the queen is hit. So you can't do this. So then where does your knight have to go? It has to go back to e7 surely, right? Like, all the other squares are covered. And it looks a little bit suspect. But is there a way to exploit this? Because also it's not easy because black knight is coming back out. For instance, if we play bishop e3, then he goes knight f5 and hits our bishop. So I don't like this. What else do we do? Well, we could just play move like rook e1, for instance. It's a relatively inoffensive move, and yeah, I guess anything. I think black can do a lot of things. He can play. Can he play knight f5 actually? Does that run into g4? Maybe it runs into g4. So maybe you can't play. Sorry, you can't play knight f5 because it runs into takes and g4. So this would be a disaster. Okay, so you can't play knight f5. So what can you do? Well, it remains to be seen, I guess. Black could hit the center with c5. Yeah, I mean, there's always d5 that you have to be a bit careful about, though. Yeah, we could play just c6 and try to get his rook to d8, try to make some sort of normal development. Okay, in any case, we'll see how this turns out. Yeah, okay. Any other games? Okay, this is not, this doesn't seem right. This is a broadcast error. And here we have a QG. You have a cow spot position, knight c3, bishop b4, and black plays c5, which sort of transposes into some of these, quirky nimzos, yeah? Queen a5 and knight takes c5 is gonna come. I don't know about bishop d2, it just feels wrong. I don't know what white is supposed to do though. Yeah, I don't really remember what you're supposed to do. Is it something like this or something? Takes and a knight e4. Yeah, maybe some line like this. Yeah, I guess this is the line. It's starting to look kind of familiar now. Yeah, and I can't remember what to do here, but basically it's kind of complicated play for both sides. The bishop d2 feels just wrong because, it sort of defeats the purpose of this whole bishop g5 line. And now I think black has got a comfortable position. I mean, there's already some issues here along this diagonal. For instance, if you take, then black simply takes back, and there are some issues here, yeah? For instance, if you take, then queen d4, and you already have to play knight d2, when maybe black can just castle, followed by bishop f5, and this is quite annoying. So, okay, e3 was played, and now black gets this bishop. It's still nothing too serious, I guess. Because I guess white's gonna castle next move. Unless there is something more forcing. Maybe some sort of d4 here. E d4, rook e8 check. is there? I mean, what kind of compensation is there for that? Probably the king won't be able to castle because I think if you block, then you probably get into some pretty serious trouble. Although how exactly is I haven't worked out yet. Probably we start with bishop f5. It seems logical. So hit that queen, and then bishop d3 is coming up. So maybe it is just that simple. So you can't block. You probably can't block this way either, for probably a whole bunch of reasons. I'm thinking even this. So I'm stopping castling, and I'm going rook c8 next move. Total disaster. So you probably have to go king f1. There's no other choice here. And then I guess maybe just play for compensation like this. Like we play maybe bishop somewhere and then go for rook d8 or something. I don't know. It's an interesting position in my opinion. Is it gonna be full compensation or more or less? We will see, I guess. Yeah, also we'll see whether black goes for d4 because I feel like if black doesn't go for d4 and white gets castling, I think white is probably gonna be fine here. So we'll come back to this game later on. We have Robert Gibbons against our good friend of the stream, Efren Bagamasvat. And Efren always goes for 1c4. Yeah. Efren has literally one line against everything, and he's still able to maintain some very nice strength, yeah, and beat some strong players. So, kudos to him. Even I don't dare to do this one line strategy. I used to do it, but it's simply too much nowadays. You run into too many problems. Okay, so but it also helps that his opponents are playing some weird stuff against him, like Bishop D7. Okay, yeah, I don't recall this being an idea. I know that Bishop F5 is a move here. That much I know, and then they go like Queen D7 or something, yeah. I don't know what they do, like A3 or something, and then you go Queen D7, and then later on they go for Bishop H3. Bishop F5 is a move, that much I know. Also, you could go for Knight F6 with the idea that now if White plays D4, this is a slightly improved version to the line where Black castles right away, because Black can play Bishop D7 and protect this knight. So this is also a possibility. What else is there? Yeah, there is Bishop D7. So it's basically saying I'm waiting for D4. Yeah, I'll wait for D4 and whatever. I'll do whatever, just wait for D4. But I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he'll go for Queen C8 and Bishop H3 later. It's also possible. A3 and Knight D4 has been played, which I'm also not sure about. I don't understand this whole rook V8 thing. I feel like you just go Knight F6. Why try to be so fancy, right? A3, Knight D4. He really wants to stop something, but I don't know what he's trying to stop. And already, Efren having zero preparation is getting a better position. Knight D5 is quite interesting because obviously he doesn't want to trade this bishop. And I know that this is a big thing for the Filipinos. They love their fianchetto bishops. They think that the fianchetto bishops are better than the rook in almost any case, which is quite remarkable. They're willing to sacrifice sacrifice the rook for this bishop without hesitation. That's how much they love these bishops. So that's why he wants to keep it. And I guess the point is after e6, he's gonna play b5. It's got to be the idea, right? And if e5, then b takes c6. And this looks very nice for white. Or bishop d5, simply e takes d5. And I think we've got quite a similar position to the game. So knight f6 was played, b5. Yeah, what else would you expect? Bishop takes d5 and b6. And actually, I have to say, I like the bishops. Because another thing is that these double D pawns are actually very nice. Because if this pawn was somewhere else, let's say on c3, then black would have this idea to put his knight on c5, and that would be an eternal knight. But now it's obviously there's obviously nowhere close to that because white can jam d4 and cover this square. So black's knight is kind of short of squares actually. So I think his position is quite bad, honestly. I think black's position is very bad. Like, you just move the bishop, and now it's time to exert pressure on this pawn. Yeah, we can play rook a1, or we can just play queen a4, maybe try to even use the c-file, use this nice outpost on c6, and double on the c-file. So that can be another idea as well. We'll put this in blue, or we can play queen a4. That's another idea. I'll just try to hit on the a-file in general. It's also another idea. I'm trying to experiment with the colors here. Yes, there we go. Have a colorful board for the first time. I'm learning. I'm learning. So, well, what's happened in this game? We have another. I'm surprised that there are so many seniors games here, but I think this at this time only the seniors will be free, so we will cover the seniors games first. Yeah, I think most of the young kids are still at school, so yeah, we'll start with the seniors games and then we'll work on to the younger kids. Okay, so knight c3. I don't get this line. Why would you play this? What's wrong with you? Sorry, it's not personal. I just don't understand why people play this type of thing. Why? Just why? Why do this to yourself? There's so many lines you can play. Why this one? Please explain to me. If you want to come down here and explain your choice, I'll be happy. In fact, I want to know why you choose this line. Because it seems like White has very nice play. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I'm not sure whether White even played this correctly. But playing 95 and everything. I'm not sure about this Queen C2 and etc. It feels weird. I would probably just hit this queen and force it back, and we'll see. Okay. No worries. Somebody wants. Do you want to join us? Come on. Yep. Or maybe his cell phone wants to join us. No, it's all right. It's all right. No. If you want to, it's up to you. I'm looking for more guests. Hey, excellent, excellent. Yeah, we have a and someone who's coming to join us. Yep, lovely to see you today. What's your name?
My name's Guan Ching.
Guan Ching.
I believe I played you before, and I think 2023 Penang Chess League first round. I played you. Okay,
Oh, I'm sorry, I don't remember, but
fine.
thank you. Yeah, thank you for joining me. So, what are you doing here? Are you a player or coach or
No, I'm just a spectator.
just here for fun?
I'm here because tomorrow I'll be having a Mud Chess event, so I just come here just to like spectate here. And also scouting for tomorrow. Because I don't know where the hall is. Now I know it already.
Nice. Okay, so you're gonna be playing tomorrow, yeah, in the
Yes,
market?
but it's in Mud.
Nice. Is it just the Mark or gonna play the other things like the ASEAN chess and
Yes,
all the others?
Mud Chess, ASEAN Chess, and FIDE Chess, which is a normal chess.
What is FIDE? FIDE chess is just normal chess, right?
Normal chess, yeah, normal
Right.
chess.
And I guess it'll be upstairs, right, in the
Yeah,
this
same.
forum. So if you guys want to come and spectate, then I don't know, is it open to spectators? We have to ask Madam C later.
No, I don't
But
think
we'll see. We'll see. I'll try to see if I can cover the event. We'll see. Maybe not the ASEAN chess everything, but definitely the normal chess. We will try to cover that one. So, do you want to look at some of the games? No, I was saying just now, I just don't understand why do people play lines like this? Why? Seriously, you pay 1,000 ringgit to play this event.
I mean-
You stay in a hotel and only play this line. Sorry, why? Why?
Why is better, right? I believe.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Why is better?
But no, why would Black play this line? That's the
maybe
question.
maybe it's a prep because there's a possible chance that Black has like prep, but yeah, I know it's not really a nice opening, but maybe it work. Who knows?
You're being very polite. You're being very polite.
It's not like
Maybe
you never
not so nice opening. Yeah, that's being polite. Yeah.
you never can read.
I was digging into that guy earlier for playing this line. Okay, no, it's the Russian part of me, the Russian school of chess. Yeah, if I played that line, I would never hear the end of it from my coaches. I would never hear the end of it. At least here, let's see, we have a normal line, but it's a draw. So maybe it was better to play that shit line after all and then get a game. So yeah, bet position out opening is better than quick draw.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, we have
My favorite
rehearsed
opening. One of my
the
favorite,
London.
the London.
I know you played it against me. I remember, and I
no.
played G6 and V6 and
Yeah,
whatever.
I have no idea because I think there I just like started like six. I mean like competitively it's like only like 10 months. It's not even a year. When I'm playing against you for the Penang Chess League, it's like I stopped playing competitively in like February only.
Right, so you only been playing for a few months back
I mean
then.
I did learn chess when I was young, but I play Xiangxi, Chinese chess.
So that was your first actual like proper tournament. No, I mean your first actual proper tournament was in February of that year.
I mean it's
Like
like a comeback.
classical event.
It means like a comeback. Classical,
Oh, so you played tournaments in your youth, like
Yes.
when you were a kid.
but it's
Right,
like Chinese
makes
chess
sense.
only.
So not actual normal chess.
No. In normal
Interesting.
chess, I think
Okay.
I create my account like 2021 and then I start playing like 2020.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I remember you played pretty well. Yeah, I mean,
I
I
screw
had to
up
work to
again.
win, and I remember my teammate lost his round one game, which was, hey, it's funny. He lost his round one game, and he won the rest of his games, and then because of that, we won the tournament.
Yeah, I know. I
It
remember.
was really funny, and I was having a really bad event, but that's how it works, right? Sometimes they carry you, right?
Yeah.
Hmm. Okay, what do you think of this position?
So,
Interesting one, no?
I
It's
mean,
like one of these college systems that's super symmetrical. Both sides get knight
like,
e5 and d5,
yeah.
and yeah,
I mean, the call system is like b3 and then bishop b2, right? I believe. What the call system is that?
yeah.
But
But there is the old college. This
there's
is like
the
the
all
old
call, yeah,
college
all
system,
call.
yeah, which is this basically the reserve Slav, right?
Yeah,
Reverse Slav,
reverse sliders.
and then there is the new Yusupov college system, which is v3, which
Yeah, I know.
Yusupov was playing a lot back in the day. But this is the traditional one.
Yeah.
What do you think of this position? I think.
Think, I mean, just uh, white and black wants to take the center, try. So they open the
Mm,
try to take try to take open file.
yeah.
But
I mean,
I
obviously
most
that would be
likely,
nice to take that foul, yeah.
I mean, for me it's a bit drawish, but like I'll say the pawn, the e5 pawn, e4 pawn is really a bit dangerous. I'll say maybe for black, I think the weaknesses is like the e4 pawn. Maybe there's threats like bishop a4 and then bishop c2 trying to attack the pawn. There's possible chance, and then maybe queen g4 and then just bring bishop back.
Yeah, I mean, this is a really hard one to evaluate,
I
right?
mean,
Yeah.
there's time. There's time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
time to
can take
calculate.
its time, but I mean, it's a position that's not easy to evaluate, like who's better and why. Yeah,
Yeah.
because obviously it looks quite symmetrical, but there are of course differences. Yeah, I think the main differences are in terms of the bishops. Yeah, like we have bishop and e7, bishop b7 protecting this pawn, and it's controlling this square, and then white having the bishop on f4 instead of on this diagonal. Yeah, that's I think quite a big difference. Yeah, so
Yeah.
we'll see
And
whether.
let's play c4. I mean, it's
It's interesting. You play c4.
I
I
mean,
guess, yeah, I guess maybe he might have been worried that c4 could come,
yeah,
which could be interesting, of course, because then if black could,
could
get
try
these pawns
to,
going, that could
yeah,
be pretty nice for him, right?
yeah,
Yeah. So because then bishop b4 back to c2, and then once he's got a pawn on c4, then these type of exchange sacks
be free.
they actually come into the equation, right? Because
Yeah,
if you take, then that's some pretty nice pawn on d3. So white doesn't want any of that, so he plays c4. Okay, right. Uh, the c4 does have some drawbacks, yeah. Of course,
yeah. You kind of shut down the queen side, like the pawn. You cannot really push it. It's a bit kind of shut down.
yeah. I mean, you can't really push like a4, v4 and try to
I
open the
mean,
queen
for
side. Yeah.
both sides, like
Yeah.
it's all shut down. Cause like cause a6 b5, you cannot really push it. There's a lot like queens aiming at the file, b5 and the a6 square, b5 square.
Yeah, maybe. I'm also thinking, right, like c4. Yeah, one thing is that the bishop is a bit reduced in mobility, right? But also, now look at this square, right? It's now not protected by the bishop. It's not necessarily something we can exploit at the moment, but
I think
we can. Maybe black can try to, get something going later.
maybe black is bishop c6. Try to exchange the bishop. I don't think so. But it's like there's a possible chance that bishop a6, the bishop c6, bishop a6, bishop b7 is for like perpetual. Maybe
Okay,
it's
so black's obviously not playing for draw.
of
It's
course.
high rated.
It's
So
it's rehung.
yeah, you could do this, and maybe you could move the rook.
Maybe
Or
rook
you
b8.
could play. You could go back once, and then decide maybe to start with a6. I was actually thinking of something similar to you. I was thinking to play a6 first, and then I go bishop c6,
But there's bishop bishop c2,
and then I was thinking to do this
e5.
because now maybe I can start to push this. Because if I can start to get these pawns going, it can be a bit annoying, right?
Yeah,
Because
it can really limit the white space really.
yeah, and if you take on c6, then I think I happily take back, and then
That's b5 still.
yeah, I don't know, maybe we can continue with v5 and try to push on the queen side, because I feel like the king side's kind of locked up. Like I feel like g5 h5 is not it's not really something we can do as of now.
Yeah.
Maybe in the end game, this could be
Maybe.
something useful.
Maybe after the queen exchange
Yeah.
because it's dangerous. With the queen out, you cannot really
Yeah.
pushing g5.
This is another interesting question, like who would a queen exchange actually favor? And I think in a lot of cases it probably is black, right? Because
I'll say
it's like
black.
black can push g5, hit his bishop and stuff.
Yeah, the bishop.
He has the d3 square with the rook, yeah.
The
So
bishop is kind of stuck. The f4.
yeah, so it's like of course this bishop is quite a bit worse than the other guys. So I mean that's why I wanted to trade this guy off on b5, even though it looked kind of awkward. Yeah, but it's not about the pieces that we trade, right? But it's about what's left on the board, right?
Yeah.
It's the most important thing when we actually make some trades on the board. Okay, any other games? We have another Malaysian. We have actually two Malaysians. We have Austin
it's all from-
here.
No,
Sorry?
it's my friend. My friend.
Yeah, this morning he came with some nice prep, and then yeah, after the prep ended, then it was not so pretty, unfortunately.
Oh, I didn't see it. I was in school. After school, I just come here.
In school? Or-
I was in school.
Nice. Okay. So c4. You take c4. Okay. This is the
Queen F5.
interesting line. As far as I remember, this is supposed to be not so good. It's like c3 line.
So it's nice.
At the very least, it's comfortable for black. I think the way you do is you play
A6.
a6 and just, go for some sort of b5. Yeah.
C6, B5 maybe.
Yeah. I mean, normally white plays a4, and I think there was some e5 at some point. I think Jordan was showing me some line like this. I don't know whether it's like c6 or e5 first, but it was some line like this.
Can you just push e5? I believe that's what Austin play, right? Like, don't play like a6, a4, just like straight play e5. I think that's what Austin played.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know about this. Yeah, as I understand, the inclusion of a6 is good for black, but okay, I think this makes sense as well. E4 and bishop d6. Yeah, because I actually like having that b4 square there. Maybe I can use it in the future. But okay, it's also a very logical play, right? Knight e2, both sides castle, and bishop f4. Okay, so it's a normal position. I mean, black is trying to just clamp on that d5 square. I know actually that your Penang guys like to play these style of setups. I know because I played enough of you guys to know that.
I'm different style.
I mean, I know a lot of these guys. There were guys like Ryan Chan who was playing this style of setup all the time.
You mean Ryan Tan?
No, there's another guy called Ryan Chan. He's probably quit chess already at this point. I haven't heard of him for a long time, but he was 2100 at his peak. So yeah, it's not a bad player. Actually, the first time I played him, I think he was 1800 and I was 1500. So he was actually high rated the first time I beat him.
Yes.
But that was a long time ago, and I remember he also liked to play these positions where they clamp on d5. So it's something that I realized you guys like to do. I saw some of you guys doing it yesterday as well. So that's the style of Penang chess. Just like play solid, clamp down on squares, and then play.
It's not
In a sense, like Po Yutian style as well.
It's not really my style, and I don't really follow the style of Penang. I just play on my own.
Fair, yeah. But also your chess journey is a bit different from the rest of Penang guys, right?
Yeah.
I mean, normally the Penang guys' chess journeys, they start at 5 and they play until they're 18, and then they maybe play chess after that and maybe not. Which is why we have no GM yet. If they were to continue, I think, we would have many strong players. But
I mean,
not many people quit. Yeah.
Mine's like it's like Levy. How Levy quit when he's like what?
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know
I think
that.
his journey is like he quit chess when he was a kid and then he come back. So it's like mine's like kind of familiar, but it's a bit. They didn't come back 12, but I come back officially competitively, I'll say 14. Say I come back.
Right. And then after that, you had a. So how old are you now?
I'm 16 right now. 16 right now.
I mean, you didn't quit chess for that long. Come on. I mean, when I thought you quit chess, I thought you'd be like, 20 or something, and then, you came back, when you're in uni or something.
Yeah.
I have had so many stories of people sort of coming back when they're in uni. And I also had many, many stories. In fact, I would say for every story of someone coming back in uni, I've heard a story of someone giving up in uni.
Yeah.
It's like quitting chess. And some of them were very strong, like 21, 2200s, who just quit completely uni.
And then
I never hear about them ever again.
Examples?
Gone. Ng Sheng.
Yeah.
You probably don't know who he is. But if you're watching this, Zhensheng, reach out to me. I want to know how are you still alive or anything. He probably is alive, but yeah, he's disappeared. He's disappeared, and I don't know. Well, I mean, White got a very nice position here. No, he got f3 and everything.
I mean,
This was a
it's a bit weird. I'll say f3 is a bit weird. For F3 also,
But he didn't want knight g4.
yeah, that's one thing.
If he plays knight c3, then knight g4. So I think he had to play f3. I think. Because I don't know, I don't really like allowing knight g4 like
Why,
this.
why just don't care? Like,
You could, yeah, and then like
take.
let him take and then play like e6 or something, and play like
And
this,
then
bishop
knight
e7,
two.
knight f3, castle,
Oh,
something
why
like
if
that.
like
Yeah.
knight 2 and then castle we had the rook out?
You could, but I think I like having a knight on f3, yeah, because later maybe I can jump this way. But you could play on knight to e2 as well, and
She's out.
play like this, yeah, and then maybe put it on f4 or something,
Yeah, I'll see.
and obviously try to bring it this way as well. It's possible. Looks like an interesting position, certainly. But okay, f3 was played. I don't mind it. I mean, you stop knight g4, no?
Yeah.
I like stopping knight g4. I mean, I love bishops, so maybe I'm a bit biased in that
I'll
sense.
say white's better, I believe.
I like White's position, but I'm not sure he should have.
Yeah.
I think maybe somewhere he shouldn't have allowed this thing with c5. So maybe something went a bit wrong here. But maybe there was no way to avoid it. Yeah, in any case, I don't really mind his position. Maybe White's not better, but
Black has isolated pawn. That's one thing I take care of. White has
yeah, but White
Black
has
has
some
white.
problems with the dark squares as well, yeah? Like
Yeah.
exchanging of this guy. But okay, White can play rook c1, the queen c2, and play like this. Or even try to put it on e3 in some lines, we'll see. So, yeah, interesting play. We'll see how this one goes.
It's really
We'll see how this one goes. Okay. Anything else? Shall we go back to the ladies? Any developments?
and I can see it's all like
This is the feature board that's on video.
it's,
Yeah.
it's all Vietnamese player.
Yes.
Maybe
All
just-
Vietnamese.
Maybe we're watching like Vietnamese tournament maybe.
I know,
Because,
right? If you just look at this, you would think it's a Vietnam,
Yeah.
Hanoi round robin
Yeah.
IM. Except it can't be because the round robin IM would have more foreign players than this.
But
Because you have to have three different federations, right? So out of 10 players, maximum of 6 can be for one federation. That's the norm requirements. But yeah, it does look like a Vietnamese Hanoi round robin. They are big though. I'll probably play one of those in the future.
But I'll say Vietnamese female they're a bit underrated a bit. I'll say they're a bit underrated. Although they're just playing tournaments in like
Not just the females though, are they?
Yes,
It's all of them,
it's
no?
all of them.
I realized the Vietnamese love this Queen C2 line.
And it's just stop bishop f5. It's really nice.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday we had someone who was okay. Knight h5 it's a move. As I remember, knight h5 is not the way. There was actually someone yesterday who I think played a game like this, and he played like knight e8, f6,
Knight
and push
f6,
e5, and this plan worked out really well for him. It was some sort of big prep, and he won very easily. So, you know, it does stop bishop f5, but it's not so dramatic for black, of course. Yeah, not so sure about this knight this idea. Bishop e3. So I guess this is some sort of prep, because why not rook e1? Because I guess he doesn't want this.
The bishop.
But as far as I understand, this is also quite nice for white, if I'm not mistaken. Just move your queen and
Queen b3.
you know these things start to be a bit awkward. Yeah, like the knight on f4 starts to be a bit awkward as well. So as I understand, this is still quite nice for white. But I guess she wanted to do this, which I'm not so sure about. Castles, and then she takes on c6. I don't know. So she's clearly out of prep, and she's doing something quite weird with this. So I don't know why she's done this, but we will see. Maybe it will justify itself later.
I think black just keep it. Don't take the bishop. Just keep it. I think.
Yeah, maybe. What do you think? Bishop a6 or something?
Maybe bishop a6.
Because I want to do this, but if I do this, I think.
Knight b4.
Wait, do I run into that? DC3?
Yeah.
Maybe I don't run into that.
Bishop takes g7. Bishop takes g7. Knight takes and pawn takes.
Bishop takes g7, king takes.
And knight.
Then you just play knight takes. Yeah, you take. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, okay, it's not anything. So actually, why not just go bishop a6, rook b8? Yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah.
And I think we have a nice position. Yeah. I like the bishops. I'm always a bit biased when I see the bishops. I'm a bishops guy. Fan of Garry Kasparov. You know, Garry Kasparov once
Yeah, I
said
know.
the bishop is worth 3.3 points.
Yeah. I know.
He said the knight is worth 3 points. The bishop is worth 3.3 points. At one point, it was like it's worth 3.5. But then he reduced it to 3.3, which I think in certain situations, it is really worth a bit more. I think on average, the bishop is probably worth a bit more. So I think 3.3 is fair. Also, who am I to argue with Kasparov? So yeah, if he says 3.3, then it's 3.3. It's a weird line. That's
I
it. Yeah.
don't really like Catalan. It's really annoying to deal with. I'll say it's really annoying. It's really annoying to deal with.
The number of times I've heard that, if I had a penny for every time I heard that, I could buy a yacht. But okay.
I mean, I think like there's like just like a few players that's playing Catalan, but it's like they're really strong players. Like for example, Agnes, one of the.
Yeah, yeah.
She likes to play Catalan.
She played Agnes played Catalan against me just a few weeks ago in Pole Point.
JCC.
No, in Pole Point. No, that time was dumb. I got 6 out of 6. And I didn't win the tournament.
Yeah, I think I remember. I lost
That
to
is insane.
I lost to
Insanity.
I lost to a
How,
Singaporean
do I-
guy.
how can I not win with like 6 out of 6? It's ridiculous. But
I also got goal. I also got
that's
goal.
life. That's life. That is life.
I think I also got goal there, but I got slayed. I lost.
Oh,
to,
you went
like,
there as well.
I went there as well. I lost to like a Singapore guy named Jordan Goh. And it's like he's like strong. I don't really expect him for him to like beat Ying Long and I think draw you. I'm not really sure. I know
No, he drew me in the previous tournament, the GACC.
Yeah, and beat Ying Long and beat Hong Jun. I was like shock. Because
He's a decent player. No, I was completely winning against him. Then I had a Chan Kim Yu moment and lost my mind. But that's my life. Yeah.
I was
No, but as I was saying, during these events, I'm using all my bad luck so I could go to Singapore and get my last norm,
Yeah.
which was absolutely worth it.
Well, good on that. It's really
No, I got it last week.
And
I got it last week. So we have to just make 2400 at this point, which is probably the hardest thing to do considering we're in Asia. The funny thing is in Europe, the rating is the easiest thing to do if you're playing Europe all the time.
But it's the cost is
But
expensive.
Yeah, if you look at the Europeans, they are rating all 2400 and they don't have the norms. But in Asia, it's the opposite because they play leagues, they play everything there. For us, we can play 5 tournaments per year if we're lucky. So
I play one. I just if like one big tournament, I think I just only play one.
no, I mean in Europe,
In Europe, yeah, maybe five.
like 5 a year if we are lucky. If we're not lucky, less than that. I didn't even play that many last year, so yeah, it's what it is. Okay, I think White's got a very standard position for this double fianchetto structures. And okay, we've been talking so much, I haven't been looking at the game at all. But good conversation for sure. C5. I have had this line before. I can't remember against who, but there was some points to this. So firstly, Bishop D6 looks like it wins material, right?
Knight.
But
Well,
what's his idea?
Five? It's not. I don't think.
Knight B5, he drops back.
Drops
I
back.
reckon.
This is a bit weird.
It's a bit weird, yeah. Yeah, the question is why did he not take, I guess. Why did he not play Bishop D6? At first I was thinking this. But then this, he has Bishop C1. And then I have a big problem here.
Yeah.
I could do this, but the problem is that, I don't have enough comp probably. So, wait, I'm just a rook down. I'm not even a piece down. I thought I was an exchange, but it's a rook down. So I can't do this at all. So it's got to be Knight B5, right?
Maybe.
It has to be Knight B5.
Knight B5 to get tempo first.
Bishop B8.
Should be it.
No, I can't do any of that.
Can I?
Maybe I just move the queen. What am I doing? But where?
This one.
If I go to E3, you snap with a bishop, and then you play Knight G4. So that loses. So if I go to G5, you play H6, and I've got the same problem. We are missing something simple.
Maybe.
Surely we're missing something simple, right?
Or I just kept like rook D1.
It's true. Can he exploit it? That's the other
Yes.
question, right? We just want CD now, yeah? I guess. At some point, CD.
Wait, no, I mean rook CD1. Why rook CD1 instead of rook D1?
But
Like,
rook D1 and rook F is more logical, no?
I mean, yeah, it's really weird.
Because you can play A6. I'll go back to A3, I guess.
A3.
And can you really exploit that? That's the question. Because if you play Knight H5, I can now go back to E3 because you have no Knight G4.
Yes.
So this is not an issue. But then how do you exploit this?
I think
Maybe there's no way.
maybe
If
we'll see something. What if we just play H3 and then it's like we can
That's another thing. We have always H3
we
and
always
coming
H3
back.
coming back.
So we have a lot of different ways to do it. Yeah, I don't think this is anything too special.
Is it?
Yeah, okay, Bishop D6 is it's actually best, but
Bishop
it's
D6.
nothing. Yeah, Knight B8, Knight B5 is correct, and
Next week.
I probably just take. But
Take.
and if Knight D5
95.
takes,
Take.
and if Bishop takes, he says E D5, but yeah, Queen F5 is pretty obvious there.
Bishop D5, Queen E3 just
He just says go back. I don't understand why he says pawn takes. Isn't this good for black? Again, maybe I'm a bit biased because I love the bishops. You know me, I love bishops.
Maybe try to open up.
He says queen, yeah, I'm thinking why not just maybe there's knight c7.
Knight
That could be a
c7.
bit annoying, yeah. Like you could this is actually an idea. I might come in the rook as well. So I actually like this idea, it's queen e8 that you suggested, and it's nice hit and no, I know, surely it cannot be good for white. No, you should have done this for sure. And if rook d1, then you just play anything, yeah, like a6 and then
Say George.
just queen e7, rook d8, and yeah, okay,
Say George.
it's a normal position. Yeah, because I feel like this position is kind of okay. It's quite nice for white, yeah.
Yeah,
Because I have already a lot of pressure on the center. Yeah. What's your idea? I'm playing rook d1 next move. Maybe not rook d1 because of bishop f2.
I
Okay.
have to.
But I will have that. Maybe I'll just take on d5 or something.
I'll say take.
I'm very pleased with myself now.
Nah.
A nice isolated pawn that I can play against. And I think when you play these sort of double ficatos, you want a position where it's safe and you can play for a long time. Which makes sense for this situation because yeah, we were saying that before the rest day you don't want to do something really dumb because then you have you will have a bad time the next day and for the next day and a half, yeah. But it's also worth playing a line which, firstly it's safe, right? So you don't get into some disaster. But also you can play for a long time because after that you can rest the whole day and sleep the whole day if you want. You can grind 200 moves and sleep the next day. There's no issue. Yeah. Same thing for some of the leagues. Yeah, you can do that, right? Like if it's the last game of a league, you know you won't be playing another game for next few weeks, so you can grind as much as you want. That's why leagues are very nice, actually.
Yeah,
But
really.
we have none in Malaysia, so petition for MCF to start a Malaysian league. Also, leagues are really good because you don't need to have the foreigner requirements for IM norms or GM norms, which is huge, obviously, because I missed one of my norms because of that stupid foreigner requirement. So,
There's a
I
question.
know it's a thing. Yeah.
I have a question. Why does not Malaysia do like a tournament where there's feeder not? It's like no.
We don't want to organize them. I don't know why. I don't know why.
Is this?
If we want norms, you have to go out of Malaysia. They're trying to do like a GM IM invitational thing, but they announced it so late that by the time they've announced it, I plan everything else. Welcome to Malaysia, my friend. Yeah. No, because the thing is, I can't really wait for them because if I wait for them, the thing is that if it doesn't get organized, then my whole summer is ruined.
Yeah,
Right?
That's true.
So I have to plan something else. I've given them a certain amount of time to plan it, get me that schedule, the prospectus, and if I don't see it, then I have to plan something else, right? That's how it is. Which is, I guess, a pity because, it's probably going to be quite strong and it's nearby and
It's really
everything.
hard to see E6-9. Yeah.
But okay, we have a
It's really hard to see
This-
E6. E6.
E6, yeah. I know.
Normally-
Normally F3 is met by E5 all the time, right?
Yeah, I'll
And
say
then
it's like everyone's
all
like-
day, all the day, every day, and yeah, I know Poichen loves to play this line.
Yeah.
He played it against me, I think, in a similar line. Yeah, I think he played this against me. Yeah, okay. So, F3, E6. Yeah, it's weird.
When I play him, I got destroyed.
He's strong. He's very strong.
I think like JCC.
You played him in JCC.
Yeah,
Yeah. I remember.
That's
I
a
got you on
embarrassing game.
video.
That's an embarrassing game.
I remember you from the video. I got it on video.
Yeah, but
That's
like,
nice.
that's an embarrassing game. I don't know what I'm doing there. I had no idea what to play.
That's another thing about Poichen. Yeah, it's like
Oh.
people play bad against him. Maybe they're intimidated. I know because I'm one of them that does that. Yeah, I'm not so bad of a player, but I just play very badly against him.
Getting nervous.
By the way, Crazy
my
prep
God.
is happening here. So look, he plays his sex's pawn,
Yes, sex. Oh,
d5.
d5.
So he can play e6 for a reason. He knows what he's doing. d5, rook, bishop d7, rook b8, takes and bishop b4. But he's spending so much time. Is this prep or not?
Wait, it's like knight b6.
Because if he's prep, he would have like 1 hour 25 or more, no? So he spent like ages and he's done this.
But
So he's a piece down. Black is piece down. But the queen only has one square, which is
queen
this.
b3.
Has he miscounted? Has he done a chunky view? He has done a chunky view, hasn't he?
Oh,
Do you know what the chunky view is? Thinking that he wins a queen for 2 pieces, but actually he's winning it for 2 pieces and a rook.
yeah.
So
Oh wow, it's really.
reference to my game against Yoli Tian, which I actually haven't published yet, but I was just completely veteran and I did something like this, and now, yeah, white is winning. So
Yeah.
it was not prep, it was just the Chan Kim Yo gambit, which is not something you want to do. It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. D5 is wrong, apparently, the way it's bishop D7. It's an old line, this, but I honestly feel that E6 is just out of fashion because this G4 is just so quick, though.
Knight b6.
Like,
This is a bit.
Knight
weird.
B6 loses. Interesting.
I was. Can you move back? Can you move back?
Maybe he shouldn't do it. What should he do, actually?
It's a bit
It's
weird.
not easy. It looks really nice, but it's not easy. Actually, what was
I
his
thinking
idea
knight
after
d5.
knight B6?
I was thinking of knight c5.
Yeah, rook C8.
C and then b4.
It's
I was thinking like knight b3.
yeah,
I don't think it's,
I
I don't
know,
think it's
but
any better.
yeah.
Knight b3. So
Apparently,
draws.
this is the only way to do it.
Should I take the pawn?
And like some weird line like this, you have to take obviously, and then ED5, and now it's something like this, which is well, it's completely unclear. We'll leave it at that.
Interesting.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
it is interesting, but also completely unclear and mad. So, yeah, that's normal play, I guess here. So what happened? He played knight b6. Yeah, now this black player is gonna have sleepless nights tonight. Yeah, not
Yeah.
taking that knight. Why did he not take that? What was the plan after knight takes? Actually, I'm trying to figure out what was White's idea. So obviously the computer is saying that whatever idea he wanted, it was nonsense. Knight b5 seems like the logical one. That seems like the logical one because now there's knight c7, there's queen e5. Surely this was the idea that both sides didn't like. So the idea was to do check like this and then take here. And the knight's hanging as well. So if you take, then I can take this guy. Okay, so after queen b6, knight b5.
So you really.
This is kind of weird.
Need time to think.
Okay,
Here's a real line. It's interesting.
I don't really see what to do here.
Because
Because wherever the queen goes, it's gonna be knight c7. Or even if you do this, it's still gonna be knight c7 and takes. Huh.
how about queen c6 is exchange? I don't think so, right?
Queen c6 still
Because-
checks, no? Ah, you want
No,
to take
cannot
on
check,
c3.
because queen takes, bishop takes, and then if check and like king d7,
Okay, let's look at it. Takes.
maybe is it possible? Can I trap that?
No, you cannot.
Can I
I'm
cut
coming
out?
back knight
Come
b6.
knight b6.
You will not in a million years trap this guy. You can take this guy. You can start to take some pawns. But is it enough? Probably not, yeah?
Yeah.
Like I can play knight b6. Can I play knight b6? You take here, yeah? It's not so clear, maybe. But,
Really?
I don't know. It's hard to say this one, no? Hard to say. Maybe I can do this and then do
White's
this,
better.
maybe.
White's better still, right? I believe.
So you can't, if you take, I will have this, right? So maybe this is the way. And then white should be winning,
White
yeah?
should win, yeah.
White should win it. Okay, so not queen c6. Good try though. It's a good try.
It's really hard.
But no.
That's wherever you go. This.
Yeah. I can't see it. Let's
Same
take
thing.
the engine.
93.
What? Well, actually, queen c6 is not a bad move. It's the second best.
Second best, but
Because
Wait.
apparently there is a check here. Just away. King b1, and you play
Yeah.
knight takes f3. The bishop
Vacant.
e2 is apparently the move. Because this is somehow bad. because of king somewhere or something.
No.
Oh no, that's
No,
knight
take
c3.
c3
That's not.
check, knight c3.
So that wouldn't have happened if the king was on c1, right? That makes
I
sense.
wonder what's the best move. I think I saw a sack move, like the best move.
I think you have to take, but it's not nice, no?
Yeah.
So actually this is fine, yeah. You go bishop e2, just take and wow. Yeah, no, it's fine. He just goes king e7.
e7.
Okay, this is fine. Rook b is
Yes.
coming. It's fair.
Really wonder what's the best move.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think I saw a sack move. Oh my god, knight d3. Why?
Oh, this is cool. This queen b5, yeah.
It's
It's hard move to see, you know.
It's really hard because it disconnect the protection of the bishop.
Exactly, it's a disconnecting move, yeah.
Yeah.
Everything. Wow, a nice move. Very nice move. No, 93 is a great move. Wow.
Wow.
That is a nice part. I'm gonna keep that. If I see some strong friends of mine, I will show it to them. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. Okay. So no Ain Shaha.
Pretty standard.
She likes
Kind of yeah.
she's a very sort of positional player, that's what I feel about her. Which is funny because she plays things like what is that? She plays a lot of these shots and she plays the fantasy version against the Karo Khan. Some really interesting lines, but I'm not sure they are her style. But okay, I think it's interesting. Firstly, she's a lot right to take on b6. So let's go back. This is surely still theory. d3, d6, d4.
b4, so
b4 is usually it's a bit early for b4. Normally they don't play b4 so quickly, right?
I think I more prefer.
Yeah, normally they can play h3, play h3. No, you just don't combine h3 with castles before he has castle.
Yeah.
That's the key, right? So if you want to do one or the other, you wait for him to castle first.
Castle.
If he plays h6, for instance, then you will rook e1. This is the key. So you wait for him to castle. You don't castle because you don't play h3 because then these ideas could be interesting, yeah. So rook e1, and after castles, then we play h3. You can play knight d2 after the h3, and this is the typical way that I play, right?
Yes. Yes.
The standard maneuver that you learn in kindergarten. So castles is the way, but b4 has been played, and a4. I know a lot of my kids. This is yeah. You learn this. Not my kids. My students.
Yeah.
The kids that I work with. They seem to love this. They love this plan earlier. It's kind of a plan that's so intuitive that you formulate it while you're still in the womb. So if the knight f1 was a kindergarten idea, this was you formulated it while before you were even born. So knight e7, castles, h6, bishop e3.
Think about queen b3.
Normally they play queen b3 here, but it hits nothing, right? That's the other thing.
Oh yeah, queen b3 castle. If knight g4 is queen, is it?
Yeah, basically another thing is that this is I think a kind of typical mistake that kids like to do. They play queen b3 and then they completely forget about something and then they get hit by this.
Hit by c4, c3, c6, d3.
And it's funny because I see that there's a grandmaster game here. There's Christopher Rapka.
White still win.
Yeah, no, because he's a grandmaster, so he's different. No, it's a grandmaster versus a weak player, so obviously a grandmaster's gonna win. You know what I mean? But okay, c6. I mean, this queen b3 is kind of not right in general. Nobody does this. So castles, a6. And also, yeah, you're right, because we don't want to go queen b3 because the bishop could get stuck. So in general, if the queen goes somewhere, it's just c2, if I'm not mistaken. So bishop e3 is interesting.
I like this one.
And
open up.
There are actually some games here. There's an Adivan game. There's Updo as well.
Is that Wesley?
Yeah, as I understand, we shouldn't allow him to take on b6. So usually you take. That's what I understand.
Yeah.
And f takes e3, and we get a position like this. And later on, we can go with our own bishop e6. Yeah.
I mean,
so yeah, and I think we can think about d5 as well in some cases. I don't know whether it's good here, but okay, we can do like bishop e6 or something, and knight g6 at some point. Yeah, it's or even d5 at some point. It's interesting play.
Interesting, but I don't. It's a bit complicated, so I don't really play e4 that much, really.
Yeah,
more
I can
like
tell.
a d4 player.
I mean, you're a London player, so you're not a d4 player.
I mean, sometimes I play e4, but it's like in Blitz. It's like in Blitz. Or it's like
It
when
should be the opposite, though. London in Blitz and the D4 in Classic.
I mean, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I mean,
Like, you're what? You're 16, right? Like my coach is as
Yeah.
my Russian coach used to say, you played in London when you are 60 years old, not 16.
I mean,
It's when you're old
I'd
and
say solid.
you're when you're playing in this category, then you will play
And,
the London.
yeah, but
And even these guys don't play the London, so you should. So I feel like that's. I think when you're young, you should play different types of lines so that
Yeah.
you're exposed to different structures. Yeah.
because it's like I feel like it's a solid. Not gonna lie, it's a bit solid. But when it's like it goes to like a classical game like 90 plus 30, I think I was just prep like maybe E4. Sometimes I'll play before.
Yeah,
E4
I feel like if you play a classical game, you should
yeah should
you
try
should
to
play
prep.
different types of things. Yeah, especially you have time to work things out. It will also improve your chess knowledge. Okay, in Blitz, I think London is a very valid line. Even London doesn't even work for me in Blitz, so I've given up on that. But I have some pet lines for Blitz, some E4 lines actually for Blitz.
4 lines.
Yeah.
There is,
Okay, by the way, we left it somewhere here, right? We didn't like what White was doing because White was playing weird. He was playing not C4 but C3, and then he did this. So he tried to stop castles, but I was like, why? What happens if you just E6 and then you just castle anyways? Because in the Dutch, normally there's E6 is a line also. Like this is also a line, yeah. Like castles and not necessarily going for E6 for E5. Just play E6 like this. This is also a line.
Is there like rook E1 as push E4 trying to take center?
Yeah, there is, but okay,
but it's
like
probably
maybe you
nice.
can play D5
D5,
at some point. Yeah. So it's not it's also playable. I like these lines for White, but it is a thing. So, just doing this to play Queen B3, it doesn't make sense to me because you can always play E6 and go for that line, right?
Yeah.
But okay, Black has decided to be more to play more fun. He plays Knight C6 and D5. And he's trying for E5, so White play F4, right? To stop E5.
E5.
I don't like this from White necessarily. I think Black already is very comfortable. B6, and yeah, it's gonna develop Bishop B7. He hits Knight A5 and C5. No, I feel like Black is playing very well, no?
Yeah, but also the nice bit stuck on this.
But okay, it's not. There's no way to exploit it.
Yeah.
At some point, it will come back to C6,
Yeah,
right?
it is.
So it's not a problem for Black, is it? And of course, now White is trying to exchange it. Okay, so what happens if it takes? That's the question, right? What happens if it takes?
Takes.
We can take either way.
I don't think can take a queen. Maybe Smith with C4 to lock that. I don't think it's correct.
It may be, yeah. He can play just
I don't
C4 like
think
this.
so.
I don't know whether he should. Maybe he could just play like E6 or and then wait for that. But even this is worth looking at. Have a look at that. Like Queen C2, he can start to push B5 and a push.
But the thing is that I'll say like the wing is like the D pawn, but you can just play 6.
Sorry?
Like if looking at this position right now, the D5 pawn is kind of weak. Like if the knight moves away, maybe got attack. So like there's this E6. So it's like really nice.
I mean,
C6.
yeah,
Just
but okay, the
But
knight's not moving away also, yeah.
Can't stop.
Because I mean, Black is trying to say, okay, I've got a nice knight. What you wanted to take on E4? Be my guess, right?
No one.
Yeah, you don't want.
Maybe
So-
this has the drawish position. If it actually plays.
I don't know. It's drawish. The pawn is coming.
The pawn's coming.
The pawn is coming.
But
What do you have?
maybe black's better. I say black's
I
better.
I would like
Black
I
would
like
better.
Black. No, I've liked Black since he played C3. I preferred Black ever since. No, I don't buy any of this. Knight B3. So A B3, what happens there? You're a London player, right? So
I mean, yeah.
this is your
Yeah,
your favorite kind of recapture, no? No.
I mean, in London, I know there's like C3 and then like Queen B3, Queen B6.
Yes.
But I don't really.
No, we-
I
the
don't
queen's off
prefer
the
Queen
board,
B3. Yeah. I don't. The London, you know, like there's the C5, like D4, Knight 6, Knight 3, D5, Bishop 4, C5, E3, Knight 6, C3, and then when
We can show, yeah.
like play Queen B6, a lot of people likes to play Queen B3 for some reason and just lock like got C5.
So like Knight F3,
Like
Knight
Knight
F6,
F6,
Bishop
Bishop
F4,
F4,
C5.
E3, Knight C6.
Yeah, C3, yeah.
Queen B6, and a lot of people likes to play Queen B3.
Yeah, and then the C4 obviously, yeah.
Just yeah.
And Queen C2 there is this famous line, you got Bishop F5,
I
yeah.
know. saw that before.
So
If takes is worse.
but a lot of
If
people
takes,
like to go for this, no? And then you can actually literally get it
yeah,
to
just,
b4.
yeah, it's like
Like there
very
is
comfortable.
why is missing that one move when you can get it to b4 though,
Yep.
yeah? And then Black is doing well.
You know, a lot of players
Yeah.
they like playing this against me. It's like I play Queen B6, Queen B3, I push C4, this takes. So I'm really comfortable. When I'm playing against London, it's really comfortable for me.
Yeah, I
Because
mean
I
obviously
know,
you know
I know
the
so,
London
but I play
idea,
Queen
so
C2. I play
yeah.
Queen C2. I know the bishop F5 line, but it just takes. No,
Yeah,
like
and then you play like
before
Queen C1, yeah.
before Queen B3. Like
So
Queen B6, Queen C2. I play Queen C2.
right.
And
Okay.
then if there's bishop F5, just take the pawn.
Yeah, DC5, yeah. This is the trap. This is the trap. Yeah. The trap that people can fall into. So okay.
Really like this, not gonna lie.
Okay, so yeah, especially in Blitz, yeah, you can catch people with that.
Yeah.
Okay, with AV3, I think okay, we'll see. Maybe he should try something like this, yeah. Oh, he's a Filipino, he probably will try something interesting like this. Or maybe he'll surprise me if the king takes V3 or something.
I mean,
Forget it's an illegal
I
move.
can't really-
Chat GPT chess,
I
yeah.
can't judge them. I'm a low rated player. I'm on 1600. I cannot judge them.
Yeah.
I cannot say really anything about it.
Yeah. No, because that C3 idea, first time in my life I saw that idea.
They
So
want to be passive more. There is some player that really like that. I don't know why. They want to be passive. No. Don't prefer.
no. My Russian coach should be like, but why? But why? Why? Why would you want
mean,
this? What is wrong with
Every
you?
player has
What
different
is wrong
style.
with you? They'll be like, what's wrong with you? Yeah,
I mean, every player has different style. Maybe it's his style. Who knows?
yeah.
That's on
It's like as one of the lecturers used to say, only a psychopath will play that line. Yeah. Okay. What is this? What's going on here? So basically, this is a game with Dede, and I didn't understand why CD4, because he's playing low rate to play for win, right? And then he's going for an end game that's probably quite nice for it, huh?
Yeah,
Takes
but
and
it's
na E2. I was even thinking, why not just F3?
Yeah, it's true.
'Cause
96, these two.
1-0.
Bishop 7, just game
1-0. So what do? You have to go to. You might go to C3 or what? No.
I don't know why.
There's also G5, but even this looks very nice, no?
If I takes this.
If takes is this horrible.
Horrible.
So you must take here. But I was thinking even just Bishop E4, and it's nice, really nice.
I mean,
like,
they like to draw. Really.
like this type of position. Oh, you will not draw, no? You click King F2.
I mean,
I will not take your draw.
I mean,
That's your problem. I will not
if
take your draw.
It
Yeah.
is in like the category. There's a lot of players draw. You can see. I think.
Yeah,
I
there.
think International Master Jimmy Liu he plays a lot of draw. I think for this tournament. I'm not really sure.
Jimmy Liu, let's just say he has taken inspiration from, the great guys, grandmasters of Budapest. If he would feel right at home in Budapest playing the IM round robins. So maybe he should consider moving there.
Maybe.
No, I mean, no. I mean, those guys in Budapest, they're hard to beat, yeah? They're hard to beat. They will accept a quick draw against anyone that's about their rating. But, if they want to play, they're hard to beat.
Yeah.
So I think Jimmy Liu is kind of that kind of player in that sense.
There's a lot of players.
What?
There's a lot of players really likes to draw. I believe in Penang Challenger, I'm playing against Alidani Ronaldo. I was winning, but and then I messed up something, so I just sacked for like equal pieces, and it's like I offer draw, this draw.
Yeah, but okay, I mean, I guess it's different, yeah. He's just happy to get a draw from a bad position, which I would be as well. So, if you're in a bad position, take a draw, it's okay. So not from, having a nice position out the opening 8 moves draw, please. Please, why you play chess like that? Why you play chess like that? So knight E2 and not F3, bishop E6. This game is gonna fight, yeah? Knight F4, knight C3. Also, Leo Dede, respect for this guy. He's fighting every game.
Yeah, he
Big respect for this guy.
Yes.
Every game he fights to the end. This is almost the spirit of the Indonesians, yeah?
Yeah.
And that's why they are so strong, because I feel it's not just that they don't really have that super great understanding, but they are very resourceful. They're finding tactics even to the end, even if have good positions. So that's why they are very strong. It's also this, mental Viking spirit that they have, yeah. And okay, it's 2 knights against 2
I think
bishops.
maybe you're obsessed with whites because they're double bishop.
You know me well. I already think white is positionally winning. No, I say joke. Of course, it's not winning.
But the knight is
winning, but
active. The knight is active. That's
yeah, but my bishops are lovely. You know, that's the thing about the knights. The knights have to be very close to be
Yeah.
active. But the bishops, they can do it from anywhere on the board.
Yeah,
They're
they-
like snipers. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've got two swordsmen, these knights, and they're quite close. But I also have the snipers, and they can go anywhere. And I love
Yeah,
those
that's all.
bishops. Okay, but it's not so easy because the knights are, to be
Knights-
fair, they are annoying. And I'm not sure about this whole King H1. What was this?
I think King H1 just to try to avoid rook c8 and like knight 2 check.
I guess so.
It's
But
like long term.
was this the only way to do it? So firstly, I'm not sure about this whole bishop on h4. I think we can go back.
Else,
So he probably has to go to c6, right? That's the
Yeah.
only move that makes
what
sense.
happened to
I'm also thinking why she didn't play like bishop g3 at some point. Yeah. Yeah, bishop g. This is weird. This whole thing. The game is jumping everywhere non-stop. Yeah, sorry about that. Bishop g3, rook c6. We have to do this quite quickly. And I want rook c1, so you probably have to do this, right?
I don't think that works.
Sorry, I'm going very, very fast because then I'm afraid the bot's going to change and then so I have to talk very fast.
I don't think that works. Rook b1 is it?
No,
The chase knight.
no, the knight controls.
Oh,
Actually, it's an interesting idea. Instead of bishop g3, let's do this.
sorry.
So that this I can do this. It's an interesting idea, actually. This makes a lot of sense. And if you don't do it, then can I? Oh, but maybe I can't
Maybe.
because you have
Maybe.
knight
Knight
e2 if I
knight
go
two.
rook c1. So now I go bishop g3. Yes, we found a way. And then after that, I can move my.
Wait, check.
What?
Wait, check.
What? Check.
Wait, what's
Wait. Rook c2. I cannot stand this thing.
where is it again?
We said rook c2, right? And rook a c8. Now we go bishop g3. Check doesn't work because I play rook takes.
Takes.
It doesn't work at all. So you can play rook c6 or something. Still not easy. Rook c1 is met by knight
The rook
b3.
has to move away still.
The knight is annoying, I have to say.
Rook b2. Rook b2, b6. I don't think that works.
Maybe we have to abandon the c file, right? Rook b2 and I don't know, but we can't use the c.
There is
we
knight
can't use
c4.
this. We can't use the v file. You know, I have to say the knights are pretty annoying here. The knight. This is a situation where the knights are actually very annoying. Now, I'm not dogmatic about things. I feel if the knights are strong, then fair play. The broadcast is
The knight
broken.
keeps jumping.
Okay, so a4 is it's been played. It's kind of risky, of course, because if black can get this pawn, then the thing is with the knight going back to c3, the pawn just goes straight. So he loses the pawn, he loses
pawn.
instantly. Like instantly can resign if black takes the pawn. He still has to take the pawn though. Rook a c8, threatening to win on the spot, as you already mentioned.
The rook. I mean,
What's
the
his
bishop
idea?
is up.
What's his idea?
Yeah,
the bishops are not so flattering, are they? Especially this one on h4.
I to say, but the bishop is a bit. Yeah, I don't think it's really that nice.
The bishop here, I agree. I don't like them here.
The knight is too strong.
I don't know what to do with the bishops actually. Knight a4 is gonna come. What's his idea even? Rook b2.
b2.
No.
No.
Trapping the knight.
Trapping the.
No, maybe this is very powerful. How do you stop rook b2? How do you stop rook b2?
One thing that white has, black has to like take care of.
Yeah, okay, but how do you stop rook b2?
I don't think.
That's the question,
I don't think
right?
it's stoppable. Can check the engine if you want. I don't think it's stoppable. b5.
There is no, but there's b6 always.
I don't think.
So I was thinking some idea like this, but there's always b6. Which can never work.
Can you check the engine? Is that it? I was wondering. This is a bit.
We can. I have no clue how do you stop it.
What is this? I don't. That's a bit. I don't really understand.
Should be able to figure this one out. Shouldn't be too hard. No. Somehow it is pretty hard. Rook.
I was thinking about like dumb ideas like rook c6 and then rook b6.
I think you might have to do that.
I
But
don't think that's good.
again, let's look at it. Rook c6, rook
c6, rook
b2,
b2.
rook b6.
I don't think that works.
I was thinking, is there a move like this already? With idea this, obviously.
Takes, yeah.
So that's impossible.
I don't think that works.
That looks like it's over. Because your knight can't move.
Oh my god.
Okay, so what happens after a4?
Yeah. Why is
No, it's
what?
it's going rook b2. There's no way to stop it.
Yeah.
He says rook c6.
Rook c6.
Rook b2.
I don't think that
Rook
works.
b6. Wait, what am I missing?
What? There's not.
Rook takes.
Right.
Oh, this is
And then
cool.
a4. Oh, yes.
And somehow this is kind of okay for black because of this. He's like saying that the knight's so strong that the pawn can just push through.
That's
Yeah.
what Black's trying to hope for. Is to actually try to play that.
Yeah, that's the thing. Okay, what can we do? No, we shouldn't do that.
That works.
Bishop c2. Right.
Yeah.
that's the
Oh
right.
yeah, that's true.
And that crashes. That
Knight-
crashes.
knight
That's still
d2.
knight d2.
Fix.
Uh,
It's a nice trap. And
I know, right? It's so close. We're so close. If I just take this, what's the
pawn,
issue?
but I don't think there's any issue. But then why
He plays
the
rook
up pawn?
c8, I guess, yeah?
No.
Oh, but
G6.
this. Oh, then I'm winning here.
It's not right.
Wait, knight takes a4 and just rook a7 or something? Oh, just check and take here.
Take.
Okay, fair enough. So, white is
White is a
a4 is the move, yeah? Really
Still.
nice. a5
A5
blunder,
blunders because
a4.
A5 blocks the knight 5. There's making chance.
Yeah, wow, a4 is a great move. See, these guys, they can still play, yeah?
He's still playing. Cause I mean,
Is
trying to
Jimmy
do more
winning?
chance.
Jimmy is winning or
Give it
something.
to me.
Wait, what is this? No, it's a broadcast error. It's a broadcast
It's
error.
broadcast.
The queen has been gone for some reason. Surely white didn't blunder the queen.
I don't.
I don't know, then Jimmy's gonna come down and say, oh, my opponent hung his queen for no reason. And then we'll be like, oh, finally the broadcast is right for once.
This is draw and Endo Shuma and Lian Tu. Endo
Yeah.
Shuma draw.
Endo Schumer. Who's Endo Schumer?
I keep saying his name. It's Arkan. I keep saying his name. I don't know
Who's
why.
Endo Schumer?
I have no idea why.
Japanese.
I keep-
Japanese.
I keep saying his name in like Malaysia tournaments.
I know
Only
I've seen him
foreigners.
too, but I have never played him. I don't know whether he's any good at chess. Presumably he's not completely awful because he's able to score. He's able to play some of the time.
But in
But
I
I don't
believe
know.
in East Asian Youth, he plays a bit bad. I'll say it. But
Okay, but lots of people played that there.
yeah, honestly, really.
It's a very tough tournament, that one. I had people who couldn't even score like 50%, not even 50%. They couldn't even, make like 3 out of 9 or something.
Yeah.
It was people with 2 and 1.5. It was tough.
I want to see that kills game.
You want to see it too.
Oh my!
And
It's a double bishop. You really like.
Akio is going to resign.
You're really obsessed with the bishop. I think it's black's great.
I'm not even obsessed with the bishops. I think anyone with half a brain
What
would prefer black, yeah.
is this? His line? That's really interesting. It's like what we just saw, like the kata.
Okay, yeah, it is. No, I know Akio likes to play some wacky stuff, so this is not surprising, at least.
I think he just tried to.
Like before this, yes, in the previous game he played an exchange slot with Queen C2. Like, what is that?
I think.
But
try to be tricky. Don't want to fall into opponent's crab. Don't like.
I don't know what he's doing.
I mean-
it's not even tricky. It's kind of just bad putting the Queen of C2 in that line. Here it's okay. Here I'm okay with this.
I'm okay with
This one is fine.
Def-
What he did is okay. I'm relatively okay with that after that one. It's just that another thing is that, by the way, if you're wondering, I feel like this bishop d6 line, the bishop d7, putting the bishop at d6, is I think the best way to play against this double fianchetto. So I think black has done well to do this. To set up a reverse collar against this,
Yeah.
because you see the white bishops are really restricted now. So
Pawn side. forward.
yeah, black takes knight f6 and he gets a nice position. Yeah,
Nice.
d5.
That's
I will say Akio has improved a lot in the past year in the sense that he's playing more actively in a lot of
I
cases.
mean, he's MSM
But-
champs, but he's MSM champ.
Yeah, but the last year he was MSSN champ and playing very passively everywhere. And at least this year he's playing more actively in chess.
And Akio resigned.
Yes, he was lost. But somewhere here I think something went wrong. I think he didn't like his position. He's
I
trying
don't
for
think-
to get some tactics to work.
I,
So knight takes d5, bishop e4. This was supposedly his idea. So if bishop takes c6, we have bishop takes d5. That's why he wanted this. So he's basically trying to liquidate the center. But
Those
rook takes e4 and bishop and queen takes e6.
and black's go.
Maybe he missed queen takes.
Takes.
It's a move that can be missed.
Yeah.
Yeah, because maybe he thought bishop c6 and was calculating rook d5 and trying to work out whether black can exploit this pin, and boom. Oh no.
Trail
Oh
up
no.
pieces at once.
Yeah, and it's not just that, yeah, it's like that bishop on b7. I told you the Filipinos would happily give up a rook for that bishop
Yeah.
any day.
Yeah, I saw a few players like I'll say I'll
No, no,
take
no, no.
Ali as an example.
Yeah.
He likes playing like b3 and then bishop e2.
Think about it, if this knight would disappear from the board, I think half of the Filipinos would be like black is better.
Yeah, it's really the aiming.
That knight would just disappear for nothing at all. The Filipinos would be like black is better. Just because of that bishop. Doesn't matter it's an endgame or anything. You're like that black is better.
Bishop takes for blunder, apparently.
Yeah,
Bishop takes it for apparently blunder.
yeah, I think that was quite clear, yeah.
I think it's rook takes d5.
Yeah, and it doesn't even work, this thing, e4. It's trying to get the back rank, but there is not even any back rank. Rook e1, f5, finish. So, rook d1, knight e3, finish, takes, and c5, resign, because rook e2, f5, and 0-1. Tough day, but it's part of life, yeah. Sometimes you have good games, and then sometimes you have not so good games, and sometimes outright bad ones.
I mean,
So
who knows? He's gonna score four for the last.
I hope
round.
so. I hope
And then
so.
become champion.
I hope
There's
so.
chance,
I
there's
hope
chance.
so. I hope so.
I really like seeing that.
Rehan
There's
has made a
chance.
quick draw.
Um,
Why? Why? It's a rest day fight, you know what I mean?
I mean, yeah.
No, because I feel like black was having the more pleasant position in a lot of these cases, right? Like we were saying that black was more pleasant here, right? So I feel like when you have a more pleasant position, it's like you can almost play without any risk here, isn't it? Here,
I
you
feel
play
like
without any risk. You play b5, and then you don't have any risk to lose. So why make the quick draw? I don't understand this.
white plays on this a bit weird. I don't know about like the before like I think it's like the next knight jumps to e4 I believe and then like knight takes e4.
Yeah, I think
that.
my feeling is white was trying to swap everything off and draw.
I
And white was okay with a draw, and then it turned out at the end black was also okay with a
and
draw.
for the other guy, I don't
So-
really think on knight takes e4. I would like to just keep it.
It's true, yeah.
Guy.
Yeah, it's true. You
That-
didn't play
that-
knight
that-
e5 to take on e4,
I
right?
mean,
Like you just play rook d1 or something, yeah?
you don't have to take the skill or tempo for no reason. Not really.
That's true. So I guess you were saying maybe just rook a d1,
Right, D1.
which kind of, I guess, forces queen c7, because now you really want to take on e4 twice, right? So queen c7.
7
Yes.
just kept.
It's true, right? Why would you just start with rook a d1 and then later decide to take on all, right?
C4? Is it possible? No, I don't know. I think it's take.
It feels not quite right.
Not
No?
quite right. Just keep it.
So what are you gonna do? Oh, you mean white plays c4?
White plays C4.
No, that's interesting actually, no? c4. No, it's a bit double-edged because if black gets this nice structure without consequences, then he can start to push on the queen side. It's a bit risky, yeah.
Yeah.
But there are also drawbacks, yeah. Like this knight
Knight
is
takes.
losing some stability at this
Yeah,
point.
knight takes D2.
Knight takes d2 probably, yeah. Rook takes, and I guess now we want this. Or we can just play rook d8 and take back. Let's say rook d8. Rook d1, yeah. I feel like black should take on c4 at some point. Maybe now.
No, takes.
Can we just exchange?
Rook takes rook D8.
Rook d8?
It's about the same.
Because I feel like the more stuff I exchange, the less counterplay you'll have, and the easier it'll be for me to start pushing these.
Yeah, I'll say that.
I can see why black was a bit apprehensive about going for something like this, yeah. So rook a d1, queen c7. I don't know. Now I was going to suggest, and this is really weird for me to do this.
Takes and then knight
Because I can do
C4.
this,
Try
but
knight D6.
there is this.
Oh, that's
If I could get knight to d6, I don't care about the bishops, I like white. But,
yes.
you know, I cannot, unfortunately. Can we do? Can that knight get in trouble? No, I was thinking about some weird thing like knight b1, but there's always c4.
I think white has to just improve his least active pieces. No, really, no. There's really nothing.
Yeah, but how?
Yeah, that's
Right, but how? It's always a question, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Activate it would be very nice, but I'm trying to figure out how.
I was thinking of like,
Queen G4.
yeah, maybe like Queen G4.
At some point, I was thinking inserting Bishop B4 as well, but let's say Queen G4 is the most natural way. Threaten Bishop H6. Okay, so what can Black do here? These? No, but these then I go Bishop H6 and maybe I can take E4. Can I? Let's see. Bishop F8.
Bishop F8. H6.
I cannot take twice, so what can I do? Can I take once?
Maybe you can do the idea, bishop takes, pawn takes, and knight c4, try to go for knight d6.
Fair enough, but do I run into this again?
Oh yeah, this is...
There's still the rook
There's
on
still a
F1,
rook.
so that's a bit unfortunate.
Yeah. Wait, no, this...
I was thinking to
pawn.
start with.
Oh no, that's the
I was
bishop.
thinking to start with this actually. So your rook will have to move, I guess, because if you do bishop e7, I can take and win that pawn.
Yeah.
So I really do win that pawn. D3 seems very logical. No, I was thinking, can I do this?
Knight takes.
So your rook is hanging. Your rook's now exchange, right?
Why? Yeah.
Because you can't take on e4. I take with a queen.
Yeah, I
right?
know.
So you have to
Takes,
take.
takes, and then queen.
Do we have an intermediate move here? Check king h8 is false, right? Because GF bishop f6 is played.
Yes.
Knight f6 king h8.
I'll say.
But then rook d1 still queen e5. There is knight d7 at the end of that line, so I will not be worse. We have options. We could also take and after queen e5 go knight f6 there.
Yeah, it is true.
We don't have any other intermediate moves to it. It's only knight f6.
No,
Okay, let's say we take here. He takes, right?
yeah.
No, it gives us more flexibility because we have ideas. We can have other ideas here. Well, in the other line, I feel like we're forced there.
F6.
So I think I don't see
Knight-
anything else. It's gotta be knight f6, king
Knight
h8.
d7.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm trying to see if we have anything better than that. We have this, but do I have a reply to this? That's the question. Probably not.
Knight
Yeah.
d7.
Queen g5. So that doesn't work. Yeah.
Straightly just play knight.
So
Knight d7.
yeah, I think we have to go knight d7. Yeah.
So
So we won't lose this because we can take on f8 and we will have at least a relatively safe position. Because I think we can play f3, e4 to neutralize this bishop.
yeah.
We take this guy. If you're okay with the draw, fine, we can do
That's
this.
the
Yeah.
thing. Why has the open send? He has open file. The rook cannot play on.
Yeah, but f6 will come,
F6.
and then he'll play rook d8. So unless we can somehow put the queen on the d file and stop some sort of rook d8 idea,
Bishop.
then he will equalize easily. Okay, but f6 will be met by bishop f4. Huh? So maybe it's not.
Bishop f4 e4.
Oh,
Like queen.
okay. Well, firstly, we need a move
queen
here for
c6.
white. Yeah.
Yeah, in the move. I was thinking about queen f4, but queen c6.
Queen c6 queen 4.
Queen f4, queen c6 exchange.
Actually, maybe this is the way. Yeah, something like this.
What?
And rook c.
Queen c6.
I don't believe. Yeah, no, I don't believe. Because the thing is that I'll play king g8 and I'll bring my king here. Then I'll kick and go king e7. And yes, it's gonna take me 4 moves, but you will not be able to do anything in those 4 moves,
Is it
right?
yeah what? Is
Rook
it
d8,
too slow?
Shake hands.
Shake hands. Rook
Straight
d8
draw.
takes, bishop takes, bishop c7, bishop c7, bishop b, and like if player 6 is bishop.
I don't believe
least-
in
at
that.
least
I
too
think we can come from the other side and take his pawns.
Too slow.
Like we can start to harass his pawns as well.
We can just
He can probably get one of the pawns, but even then we will make a blockade. Yeah. So like, I'm thinking one way to do it is maybe even just bishop d5 or bishop e4, something like this, right? I wish we want like this. A3 and I'll play c4.
Draw.
Bishop b8 and I'll play a6.
It's a draw.
Okay, it's never working. It's never working. Yeah. Okay.
Maybe it's a draw. I mean, in London, it's really easy to find draw. Honestly, I'll say.
True. That's true. Maybe there was nothing anyways. Let's see. Did we miss anything? Did we miss anything? What is he saying here? He actually likes white a little bit, but it's with some weird moves like bishop c2 h4. I don't really believe in those. c4 is not.
C4 is not because
What was the move?
want to maintain the
Yeah.
defense.
Yeah, it's like we were saying, right? This structure is actually quite dangerous for black. Yeah. So when you rook d1, exchange 4 rooks, and black is comfy. So rook f d8. What were we saying? We were saying here queen g4, right?
Queen G4.
Queen g4 is what we were saying, and we were saying rook f d8
Right.
because we didn't want to play g6. So bishop h6 and bishop. Oh, I'm dumb. We can take here. Okay, too much chess the past few months.
It is fine.
It's so dumb.
Trying to take a rest.
You take c5. Goodness me.
No question.
Yeah.
We'll come to Penang Open.
Depends.
Depends.
Depends on whether they ask me to come.
No, I mean, oh yeah, that's true.
Definitely not the standard, I guess. They would have to be a really, extraordinary circumstance for me to play the standard ever again. But maybe the rapid. Maybe I'll come for the teams. Who knows? I could come here and talk as well if they want me to. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. If they want me to come here and talk and blabber for like 3 hours, 3 to 6 hours every day, then I think I'll do that. Yeah, but we'll see. Not to make moves, I think.
I think I'm okay with classical, but just the stamina because like the first 2 days I do good, and then like the other 3, yeah, I don't want to.
Yeah, I think that the thing about Penang is that it's just full of all these double rounds, so it gets actually very tiring at some point. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it's good to see you today.
Today,
Yep. And we'll take a break now, and we'll be back in about maybe 10-15 minutes. Okay. So don't go anywhere.
me too. Over.
Yeah. Maybe you can come back. We'll see.
Maybe I'll come back the game's over. Who knows?
Maybe. Maybe. Let's see. Alright, guys, we are back with another special guest, Legan Ray. Hey,
Hi.
yeah, so yeah, let's cover some games. We'll have to end a little bit early today because I've got class later, but yeah, you have still about 20 minutes, 25 minutes to cover as much as we can, so should I get going? Which one do you want to start with?
Uh, I guess my category under 14.
Yeah, let's have a look. Uh, what do you want to look at? Yeah, our kill got crushed today. It's not very nice, yeah. So maybe look at something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Akio's opponent played well, and he did not, and hence the result. Okay, we have a knight up here. Yeah, do you know anything about this line?
Not really. I don't play E4.
I know, me neither.
Yeah.
It's just like, this looks like Dutch to me, this line. Yeah. Uh, yeah, I know nothing, but clearly it's some sort of prep here. Okay, it's bishop f5. Okay. Queen c4. I mean, it seems like logical play, but I also, still don't really know much about this line. Okay, and you can't take plus rook c3 yet.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a very interesting game. We'll look at something else. We just scroll through see if we can find anything. Whoa. Speak of interesting. This is an interesting one though. So, yeah. The most common opening ever in chess, right?
Yeah.
E4, and it's now got some, Rylofest characteristics. It plays d5. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. d4. Interesting play, yeah. So Black is just trying to climb the white pieces, but he has to watch out for some sacks, yeah. What do you think? Should we go for
Yeah,
it?
like the knight takes h6.
Should we go for it?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Knight h6 or knight
Oh,
g7 or
bishop
h6?
bishop h6.
Bishop h6. Okay, let's do
Yeah.
it. Gh6, knight h6, right?
Yeah.
And then what can you do? King h8.
8. Like queen d2.
Queen d2. So you want to come back?
Yeah.
Ooh, looks dangerous. Dangerous. Can you do knight h7? Maybe.
They're like queen check. Wait, no.
Then I go queen f6. Yeah, I guess.
Knight h5.
Knight h5. Okay. Can I do this?
I won't do it. No.
Oh
Feels
yeah.
like the attack has been stopped. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, this knight h7 I think is the thing. Maybe we don't give the bishop.
Yeah,
If
maybe.
we don't give the bishop, he doesn't have knight h7, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Knight x.
this one or this one?
Knight
Both
g7.
look very
Yeah.
nice. I think this one looks better, no?
Then
Check
knight
here.
f5. Yeah.
King. Yeah.
Queen d2. Wait, no. Knight g8. That's knight g8.
Yeah.
Wait, knight g8, knight takes h6.
Ooh. So you want queen d2?
Yeah.
Knight g8. Knight g8 seems forced, right? Otherwise, how you just lose, right? No, knight h6. Okay, so what's your threat?
Knight takes knight. Wait, no, that doesn't.
Is this something that I should worry about? Or something?
Yeah, that's.
There are many things I have to worry about. Huh? Okay. This looks actually. Oh, this is not so easy. Okay, let's say I bring some more stuff to try to defend.
Wait, e5, then knight g4.
E5?
Yeah,
Ah, okay, so D5, knight
knight
g4
g4.
is your idea. If I do this,
Rook takes.
rook takes, wow. Oh, this looks crushing. I think it's just crushing, yeah. Oh, that's very nice. So E5 is your big idea, so I can't do that. What else can I do? Here? But then I run the knight f5 tempo. I get the knight f5 tempo. It's not what I want. Now this looks like, it's not just, that's just It's not just that he wins on it. I don't think he wins on the spot, but it's like it's annoying, right? Like there are always these ideas.
Yeah.
So like against some of these moves we do win on the spot. So what can Black do? Maybe he has to stop e5, but how? This?
Then just king move, right?
True, and we can renew it, yeah. We can renew f4 as a threat. That's annoying. Can I do this now though?
We then f4. Wait, no, that's knight d3.
Snap, I think. Yeah.
Wait, knight
Yeah,
f. Oh, that's
knight- Yeah, there are lots of options. I want this guy.
maybe then not king
Maybe
h1.
not, yeah.
King f1.
Yeah,
Wait, but that's knight d3, right? Knight d3.
knight d3, yeah. That could be the idea. Just give up the pawn, give the pawn back, yeah, and then play. Yeah, maybe not. Are we overthinking things slightly? Maybe just something simple like coming back or queen f4, something like that.
Yeah, what about queen f4? Yeah.
Yeah, let's look at it. Queen f6, I have knight f5 there. That was supposed to be my clever idea. Whether it's actually clever or not, I don't know. So, what resources do we have? We have this knight d3 at some point. It should be combining something like that, yeah. What's your threat actually? Just like knight f5 and split, is it something like that?
Wait, actually, what if he don't sack? Like
Don't
develop
sack.
first?
So you say don't sack on this. Don't sack on yourself. It's very disciplined to not sack. I don't think I could resist it.
Wait, what if queen d2 first? Like same idea, knight g7.
Okay, so this is massive threat now. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're actually winning threat already. So we have to. We really have to find a way to defend.
Oh, knight e8.
It's ugly, but we might have to do it, yeah.
Knight h5.
Doesn't really help, does it? Do we get mated? I know if we get e5, we get mated. So, this do we get mated?
I think just move the king. Wait.
Like, someone do anything is fair for him.
Yeah.
This looks like a better version because
Yeah, because we
have
didn't
queen
sack
f4
yet.
now.
We haven't sacked yet, so we have like more options.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, if we're going to play queen d2, we do it right now. No, I agree. This looks very strong. If queen g5, we just no, just f. What did you do after queen g5? Oh, we just take it and win normally.
Wait, but that's g6.
Then we have a check,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Maybe this is what he has to do. Anyways, do we have anything better than that? H5 is also hanging. We queen e2, he goes back to d8.
Yeah.
It looks like it's falling apart, but it's not. It's not that easy.
Oh, yeah, queen e2, queen d8, f4.
Maybe it's the way. And then we're going queen g4.
Yeah.
That looks quite strong actually. So, okay, let's have a look. Knight d7,
What if we sack now? Knight, knight,
knight h6,
no, knight takes. Yeah,
g4.
yeah.
Yeah, that wins. Yeah, yeah, that wins. Yeah. Okay. Let's see if we have done this correctly. What does he say? The engine. What move are we saying? Queen
Queen
d2, right?
d2.
Oh, it's good. It's a good
Oh,
one.
bishop
Best
takes.
is bishop h6, but queen d2 is good as well. Knight e8 is only move, and this. So
Oh,
we say bishop c8. Wow, he's cold-blooded, this thing. He don't care. It's this. Well, and if we don't take on h6, then he takes our knight. That's the issue, yeah. Yeah. Knight e5 is also okay, but after this, not queen g5, but
oh.
bishop c8 again. Yeah. Okay. So maybe it's not as strong as we thought at first, but apparently this is very strong. Why exactly? Some sacks coming.
Yeah, bishop takes.
Is bishop takes a thing? Look, let's say I do something like this. Ah, because he kept the knight on g3, so we can take back. Yeah, so it's not an issue. So he just plays normally.
Yeah.
He just plays a5 and just goes back to playing positional chess. Also, these guys are kind of weak, yeah. So sure, we don't have to go all in. We can play our cards on both sides, right? So that's actually a clever idea. But how does bishop h6 work? Because we couldn't figure out what to do against knight h7, right?
Oh.
What? This was the line you were suggesting, right? Wait, no, it was a bit different. My suggesting was different.
No, we suggested like knight takes g7, then queen d, knight check queen d2.
Because the first one you suggested was bishop h6, right?
Yeah.
This was the first one you suggested. Ah, we looked at this king h8 and
Oh, it's losing.
we looked at knight h6, but that was not right. We should have played queen d2 right away.
Yeah.
So that if this we have queen h6, queen f6, and I think we get the knight h5 idea quite nicely, right? But there's still queen e5. What's the win? So like some idea like this, queen f6. Oh, that's nice.
Oh, yeah.
That's very nice. Knight e5, knight e7.
Yeah, and it's me.
It's mate, yeah. It's totally mate. And d5, knight h5, I think is the point, right? Yes, it's the point. Wow. What a nice move.
Yeah, you can't play like. Yeah.
In a sense, it's full circle. Yeah, we started by listing all of these ideas, and then the computer comes up with the best way to execute. As usual. As usual. We have no chance as humans. Knight h5, queen h8. Was what was the move? Is there like some? There's obviously some mate.
Yeah, queen g7. It's like.
Wow. No, I was thinking this, but this is even nicer.
Oh.
Wow. That's cute. That's really cute. I was thinking actually this one, but it's not necessary. This is even better. What a nice way to finish off. Probably won't happen, but we'll see. If he finds this whole thing and e5, it'll be impressive. Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be very impressive. Okay, we'll see if he does. So, what other games are there? There's not many more in this category, right?
Like the fifth board.
There's Duong Wu An.
Oh, it's drawish.
Probably should turn off that because otherwise we'll say every single game is a draw, right?
Yeah.
Computer's favorite evaluation, triple zeros. This G4 line. Oh, but he played F3 instead of. Oh, maybe he had to, right? Before was hanging. Do you know anything about this line? Oh,
No.
no, I don't have this in my repertoire. I was thinking for a time to add this, but I don't have it yet. F5. Oh, did he? Is this correct? That just knight h3 and let him take?
Like if he pushed.
There are games here. Wow, this is some crazy crap. Yeah, I guess he pushed. He didn't like knight going
Yeah,
back,
that
and
is close.
yeah, he closed the king side. All right. So knight h3 is just some sort of prep. Oh, he played it super fast, so it was prep. These kids nowadays, can I say? These kids. In my time, there was none of this thing, none of this nonsense. In my time, no, H. So here it's like new. Knight h7 is new. I can understand. Doesn't. But okay, it makes sense, right? Play f5 like this.
Yeah, maybe he just played knight h7 to play f5.
Yeah, I mean clearly that was why he played knight h7, right? And to push to f4. So in a way, he's also closing, or is he? It's not really, is he? But he gets play. Yeah, rook a6, nice to take that pawn back. No, I feel like I don't know. I like black.
Yeah, with the
It's got the
bishop pair.
pawn. It's got the
Yeah.
bishop pair. Computer says it's equal as always, but why? How do you even activate the knight? Okay, this guy probably goes to g4, yeah? But then
No,
this
but
guy, don't you? Yeah?
I
To d3 you're thinking. Okay, well, interesting.
oh yeah, what happens if knight
Maybe this
d3?
looks really, really good, no? I might change my mind again.
Queen d6. Like
Yeah,
this?
he has to, I guess.
You can't play queen g2, like that's rook f7 then f3.
Yeah, it's kind of pointless to do that. I don't know what to do with this guy on e2. Computer will probably say don't worry about
Oh wait,
my
rook
guy.
g5.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that looks active. Just go. He has to go rook e8, right? With king also.
Rook e8, then
Kind of
queen
dumb.
g2.
Yeah. And rook e7 can
Yeah,
take,
take.
right? So, ooh, what's going on? He, he doesn't have anything other than rook e8. Right? If he doesn't play rook e8, he sacks the pawn.
b5.
So I was thinking of that, but it looks dodgy, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think white's position better here.
It looks way dodgy, no? Maybe he's hoping for something like this. Do I believe in it? No, but I have to find a way to beat it.
Wait,
Okay,
can't you
firstly,
just like take?
if I take, what happens? He can take
Queen
here,
takes, king.
king d1, I guess,
Yeah,
and then maybe nothing. Queen b1 check, knight c1 blocks
yeah.
everything. Maybe I just grab it. No, because this must be good for me. I just take on f8, take on b5. So this is the only chance. King d1.
Queen a1.
Yeah, nice. You want queen d4 there, yeah?
Yeah, but I
I
don't
might
think
have
it
to do
works.
it.
Like
Queen
then
d4.
just queen block. Yeah.
Yeah, and I play queen d3. And you've got nothing, yeah? That's your rook's hanging, so. Yeah, it's mostly winning. Yeah, it is. So, what have we missed after rook g5? Welcome to the world of computers. Goodness me. Black is in trouble, but no. Back to h6. Ah, and it's still awkward, yeah.
Yeah.
Rook G1 and maybe you go back? Oh,
King.
wow. He says just give it up. King Senior is great opening.
But this looks better for white.
I know, right? It's better, but that's some of like it's okay. You know, this is funny because this is the opposite of what you usually get from the King Senior, right? Like in the King Senior, it's always that, you know, it looks like Black's position is, I mean, Black's position is objectively really bad, but you know, it's not easy to
Yeah.
beat him. But here it looks like we have so many nice options, and here it's triple zeros. It's like an anti King's Indian kind of King's Indian, at least in terms of evaluation. I, I don't know what to do. Yeah, you're right. It feels like Black's under pressure, but he's like calmly Queen H3. No problem. If you exchange, then the pawn starts to go. Right? And it's giving some line like this, which is repetition or something, which doesn't even have to happen. I guess that's chess nowadays. Okay, shall we look at some other categories?
Yeah.
Rihung made a quick draw, a surprise. I was not expecting that. We have other guys as well. Yeah, we were looking at this Austin Chia game where there's a broadcast error. Obviously. Is there a broadcast error? No, there was no error. Sorry. I thought White was a rook down for some reason. I'm used to these broadcast errors already. No, I mean Clono needs to up their game, can I say? But if there's no issue, I mean I like that. I like that pawn for black. No? That's pawn. Such a nice pawn to hit. Just like Queen D7 and ring the rook or something.
Yeah.
What's not to like?
I think so.
Black's cruising though.
Wait, what if like Queen E7 now?
Oh, sorry, the rook's hanging, so I have to protect
Yeah.
the Queen E7 and just bring the rook. Yeah. Yeah. It's got to move the knight, right? Check this out. It has to be knight C3, right? Oh, maybe this is not so clear because he wants to take.
Did we go to bed?
So maybe we move the rook so it doesn't run into knight C3. So we can ignore after knight C3. I think also as long as we keep the queen on the d file, we don't have to worry about knight C3, right? So maybe we go back or something. So in knight C3 we just ignore and just do this. Calmly queen D7.
Wait, then knight E4?
Okay. Yeah, knight C5 could be annoying.
Look on the screen. I'll look at the video. It doesn't show us yet, right? Doesn't. It does not even show us. What's wrong with you? Oh, it will.
C3. What were we saying? Knight E4 might be coming, right? So,
I think just take the knight actually.
but how? Bishop takes?
Yeah, bishop takes.
Pawn takes? C4 is coming.
Queen E7.
You played the Petrov, right? This reminds me of one of those Petrov lines.
Petrov?
Did you
Oh,
play,
yeah,
you played
yeah.
the Petrov against me, right? A few
Yeah.
times. Yeah. This reminds me of one of those Petrov lines, right? The D4 lines.
Oh,
Three D4
yeah.
lines, right? Like you get these type of positions basically by force. And it's kind of horrible. There's some B5 ideas, right? In those lines.
Yeah.
Was it? I think it was somewhere here you would play like B5 in a lot of these Petrovs. And these type of positions are, yeah, they are equal, right? I don't know, maybe it's just nothing after all. Maybe I was too optimistic for black. Because there's no E4, so you're right. Yeah, so maybe it's fine after all.
Now you can.
Okay, then we look at the next one. Now this one was one that we liked for white at the start. Because I don't know whether black did this correctly with knight C6. Like normally they play E5 or knight F6, right? But knight F6 is yeah, knight C6 is a bit weird. And I think he's thinking, so this is not his prep. Really not a prep. F3, so it makes sense. So it doesn't have knight G4 to worry about. Yeah, I think black was doing. I mean, white was doing kind of well, and black gets C5 though. But okay, it's one of these positions. Yeah, that's okay. No, I feel like white's always a bit more pleasant because you get like queen C2, rook D1, rook A C1.
Yeah, the
And if
C5 pawn
black,
is
yeah,
yeah.
the C5 pawn is that if black cannot get C4, then it can get unpleasant. Yeah.
Yeah.
So D1 is late and rook C1 will come. I think there's a broadcast
Like-
error because there should be more moves really, right? Like in these games. But okay, I think it's pleasant for white. Let's see how it goes. Yeah. Top two games have been drawn already. This one was just agreed drawn in an interesting position. I think I know why. They're countrymen,
Yeah.
and if one of them beats the other, then
They can't
are-
get the top 3 prize.
that's one thing, right? They want to just draw and get and suckle the whole podium, right? They want to get the podium. But also it's like this is the rest day the next day. So if one beats the other will be in a horrible mood for the next day and a half. So the smart thing is just draw and then, fight after the rest day. Yeah. Otherwise you won't be able to play. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, anyone else? We will take a few more games before we call it a day.
Oh
Anyone
yeah, the
else?
game just now, like
Oh, we've seen this one already. Which one?
the knight, the bishop sack, like
Yes,
this
I
game,
wanted to
this
see
game.
that one.
Yeah.
What was it?
Oh, 0 time.
The mod is stuck.
Yeah.
Oh, because this is a clonal mod. Gotcha. These Norwegian people, they can take criticism. So please fix your system, guys. Please. Yeah, because we have had this problem for the last 3 days non-stop. So please fix your system. Yeah. Okay. These are the big boys. Okay, this one has been a draw. So if Arca or Bakoyo win, then they'll catch in them. This one felt like just was balanced all the way. Yeah. It was this anti-Marshall, and I don't know anything about this line, but basically what happened was things got swapped off. Yeah, everything got swapped off. Nobody really wanted to play for a win in this game. I mean, they're similar rating. Again, same thing, right? Game before the rest day. You know, don't
Same
beat each
country.
other. Don't beat each other. That's the yeah red and white rules, right? So they call it. Yeah. Ooh,
Black looks better, I think.
I was always taught that, in such kind of positions, right? In these positions, if black can activate his pieces in this manner, I feel like he should be doing well.
Yeah.
So
Wait, but knight has like white has like knight d5, rook d1.
maybe, but where were we? Oh, so it was this position that's kind of weird because black got a6, and after a4, black gave up on opening the queens and just straight play a5, which is interesting to me. It's a new strategy maybe, like before, but he seemed to get a decent position though. Knight h5, bishop e3. Okay, I would probably drop to e2 to have option of pushing e4. Yeah. Actually, after e5, if you don't take, then the bishop is a bit awkward, right? There's free reign to do this.
Yeah.
Like, I think it would make more sense to drop back, then you have options to play e4 in response to this, right? But okay, e6 and yeah, that's why he played queen b3. Because I was like, why is this queen on b3? It's weird, no? Because there was no way to defend it, because b3 hangs that pawn. So if you get one more move to get rook c1 or queen d2, then b3 will be comfy, yeah. But rook a6, and he just doubles here.
Yeah, and he attacks the d6 pawn.
Yeah. You were saying knight d5 at some point?
Yeah.
Is that now or?
Maybe later, like the d6 pawn looks weak.
I know, right? I don't really want to cover that, right? So, yeah. But how do we put more pressure on it?
Bishop f4.
There. Okay.
Oh, they moved the life.
What did he play? He played knight e1. He didn't play bishop f4. I think he's trying to go for some long-winded stuff like this. Not sure whether I fully believe in it. Black is going already for knight e5. I don't really like this actually. No, you're right. What happens at the bishop f4? It's a good question. Maybe rook d8 has to be played, right? Because how else to protect that?
Knight b5.
I think
Oh
I
yeah,
have
he can
b5
push.
every time you play knight b5, right? At least that was supposed to be my idea of
Wait,
this
knight
setup, right?
c7.
Ah, because now with a rook on d8, you have no dc4.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of clever. Yeah, this may be a problem. How big of a problem is it?
Wait, rook
If I
b6.
move my rook, yeah.
Then wait, just take the pawn and then like queen takes b6, then rook takes rook. Like two rooks for like c takes
Makes
b.
sense. So your idea is that if this we grab
Yeah.
this guy straight and then take here. Hmm. How do we begin to evaluate something like this? Maybe quite well actually after this. Queen e6. Oh, but yeah, queen b3, so don't win that stuff. Like this, you got queen b3 here. Knight d2 you can take here. Still not so easy.
Bishop e5, like
Yeah, maybe. Just play this, maybe? Hmm.
just take the bishop, I guess.
But knight d6,
Oh,
maybe, for that. Maybe I start with this first.
yeah.
Because at least now you can take here. But he might take here. I don't know about this actually. Don't know how to feel about this. Because I feel like black has very, very easy play, you know?
Wait, maybe instead of like the
Yep.
instead of yeah, use the other rook, like the 8 rank rook. Yeah, this.
Okay, queen b3.
Then bishop e5, same idea.
Bishop e5, knight
Then rook attack
e4.
queen with the yeah,
This one.
yeah.
Ah, right. This is nice. Oh, maybe this works, yeah. I have to do this now. It's not what I want.
Um, I'll take your bishop.
Okay. I almost instantly recaptured there. Can I take this? You go bishop
Oh.
c3.
Ah,
You go bishop c3. What happens there? Because you're gonna take back that knight, right?
yeah.
Bishop c3. Like this. I don't think I can save that knight, right? So maybe I shouldn't do this. I should take back here. Okay.
But now you can like take the a4 pawn.
Yeah. If after rook d8, I will snap it, no question. Like knight a4 and knight b2 is coming. Yeah. So yeah, I'm not sure about this. Yeah. Maybe it's not so clear. So maybe this line isn't that clear after all. Let's see what he thinks of the bishop f4. Oh, bishop f4 is best, I think. It's one of the best. He says knight e1 is pretty good, interestingly enough. Rook d8. And now he just says e4. Well,
Oh,
knight
e4, e5.
e5. Ah, because not d5 is do this.
Oh,
Wow, and then just like play g5 and maybe f5 later.
No, the rook is trapped. Wait, no, it can take. Wait. Oh yeah, the rook's
It is
trapped.
trapped, yeah. It's true. The rook is trapped. It's got no moves, yeah. Yeah, knight b5 would be bad. Then just move back so that knight b5 is an idea. Right. Okay, but knight e1, the move he played is also good, yeah. Yes. I think the idea is that he wants to come this way or something. Or maybe he just wants to exchange up this guy and get knight b5 or something. So it'd be hard to get d5. Yeah, no, I don't know. It's not so easy for me to see the idea. Maybe it's a concrete one. Bishop
Oh
f4.
wait, knight e1, so like he can't play knight e4. Like the bishop's
Yeah,
guarding e4.
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So he goes bishop f4 now. Lock. So c4 is hanging. Head. Ah, but if I do knight d5, I think the problem is I cannot take back with the bishop, right? Because h3 hangs.
Then oh yeah.
Yeah, like I can get b7, but I feel like h3 is more valuable than that. No. Eh, that makes sense actually. So it's actually not clear this one. Still fighting these guys. Okay, yeah. Ooh, we left it here, right? Wait a minute. We, yeah, I left this position somewhere here, and it was quite interesting. So bishop g5. This will be the last game because we really have to go after this. But
Okay.
yeah, so I've got class at 7. But c4, knight d2. No, basically rook d1 was played. We were thinking bishop e3 would be played, but rook d1. It's very natural. But I think the problem is that there is this bishop d5 and c4, c8. But it's still unclear, yeah? But just hits with e4. Interesting, and it hits with d5. It's gone all in this game. h6, just take. Wow. Take. No, this looks very strong for white, no? But at the same time, it's a lot of material that is sacked. Rook h7. I don't really see a way to break through, actually, you know. If there's no way to break through, then c2 is coming, right?
Yeah.
And then it's over. Is there a way to break through that? Let's say check, right? It's going to go to d8, right? Yeah, it can't go to e7, so it's going to go to d8. What's the move then? Knight d7? So firstly, I'm thinking is c2, the c2 make any
Oh
sense?
yeah,
Probably.
takes. Take rook takes.
But rook probably.
Then rook takes. Yeah, and then
Yeah,
rook d1.
d1, bishop d6,
Oh, that's still c2.
e5, c2. I think this is a problem. I think black might
No,
be.
e5 just take the queen.
Oh yeah, no, I might. I played too much chess, can I say? Yeah, bishop d6 is finished. Yeah, it's finished. But if this doesn't work, then what's he gonna do? It's nothing, right?
Yeah, it's just.
There's nothing. There's
Oh.
nothing. Oh, the engine's giving -5. That's conclusive. Where did he make? Where did he go wrong? I think this whole concept was a bit too much. Yeah. Ah, here he just play knight g6. Interesting. And rook g8, then he can take on f8. Yeah. So just something more conventional like that. This whole knight c4 was a bit too much. Yeah. It did feel a bit optimistic. It looked strong, but I feel, yeah, maybe he missed that. You can protect it with queen c7 like this. Okay, but this is desperation. Yeah.
Oh, rook takes.
Yeah.
Then rook d1. c2,
c2,
rook takes.
7.
Wait, I don't think can play c2. Yeah, just defend rook d8.
Yeah, just read d8. Yeah. Bishop h5. King e7. King e7. Queen b4, king f6. And he runs. This is the like no rook d1. Maybe rook d8. Yeah. No rook d8. Just draw. Wow.
Oh.
Check. We're here, right? And not queen b4, but this because
Oh.
because f8 hangs. Right. Okay. f8 will hang, and if you block, then just e5. Yeah. Wow. This is insane. But you just block with what? Bishop or what? Yeah. Same idea as just now. And if you ever try the e5 thing, it's always c2. Yeah. And also we have e7 here quite comfortably. So I think bishop d6 is over. Yeah. Oh, it's played rook d1. So we'll see what it does. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just winning. Yeah. So just bishop d6 or something. We'll see. Oh, can he go bishop c6 actually?
Yeah, I think it's fine.
This also seems like a very logical idea. Check probably. And then no, he goes bishop d6. No, of course bishop d6 here. Check and king e7. Check and king d8. Finish, right? Yes, finish. Yeah, and we will we will go down that variation. So black's gonna win this game. So that day for Bakoyov, the really good day yesterday. That's chess, right?
Yeah.
Things turn on a dime. Yeah, so you can have a really good day and then really bad one the next day. And with these double rounds, if you have a bad day, you can lose 2 games. That's the risk. So, okay, I think on that note, we are going to end our stream here. Thank you for joining us, and I'll see you after the rest days. Tomorrow's a rest day, so see you, on